Oh yeah, I did post on Instagram. Ellis, this is so cool. Good afternoon to both of you. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
The sound okay? Everything's okay? Simona's back. Finally, yeah, finally caught live stream. I know I've been kind of iffy on my not consistency, but I've been postponing a few weeks. What's up, Drew? Eric with the K.
And get my glasses. I want to see what everybody's saying.
I wish I could make it bigger. Or you could even
Oh, I could.
pull it up on your phone and just turn the volume
Yeah.
down.
Maybe I'll do that.
Eric says you have a great son, and he obviously gets his good looks from you.
You're right, Eric. You are right.
Glad you guys are here. Love all your videos. Been going through some stuff lately and look forward to your videos and music. Let me tell you. Trying to get this microphone in the right place, but it sounds fine. So, I too have been going through some stuff. As you guys know, in some of the recent videos, I'm gonna talk more about it because I want to be, I don't want to expose everything, but I do want to be human and just talk about things that I feel people can benefit from that may do the same stuff. This morning was kind of rough for me, but I'll probably explain that in that video. I don't loosen it actually. Yeah, next week because there was a holiday, quote unquote. Not really a holiday, but for recognition. But I'm glad you feel that way. So yeah, I've been good. I've just been adjusting to new medications and higher dosage medications, and oh, I forgot it's still up. Yeah. My bad. But yeah, I've been adjusting. A lot of good adjustments, to be honest. Like feeling productive again consistently and not like overbearing need to, oh, I must do stuff. Your vulnerability is inspiring to me and your insanely good musical ability too. Yeah, thank you. I got a comment this morning that begs to differ. This guy called me a clown.
That's because he's a clown.
Most of them are. I had one guy on Instagram yesterday. This is a totally unrelated comment about music, but I was talking about like a UFC fighter, and he goes, "Let me see you win a fight," or something like that. When was the last time you won a fight? And I was like, "Am I a UFC fighter?" So, and he goes, I guess he did some research. So then he goes, "Oh yeah, you right. Well, when's the last time your music was or got some traction?" I was like, "Last year when Autotune asked me to film 3 commercials for them." And then he kept trying to he just kept trying to insult me. "Oh, so you mean to tell me you got a filming job off your music? That's not relevant." I'm like, the commercial was my music. And I got the filming job.
What is it that you don't know?
So people, they just want to make people feel miserable.
Yeah.
And it's like people say, hurt people.
Yeah.
It's miserable people. Miserable people want to make other people miserable.
True. So true. How y'all doing? Y'all doing all right?
Yeah, how you guys doing? Hope you bring your mom in the studio often. We would love to see her very, very often.
Who is that?
That is invest in yourself, Black Lives. I
That's
know
right.
you're definitely not from America because you said mum. I don't know what other countries they use that in. I know for sure in the UK they do. Turn this down a little. It's because he's a clown. Mom's got vibes. Hanging in there. That's good to hear.
Good.
Riz says, "How's your day going?"
Mine? My day is going really good. I'm with him. I'm with him. I'm with this guy.
Yeah. This is a world first. I don't know if any other live streaming musician has brought like their parentals on a stream before. Not that I've seen it, and I don't see them often, but I do like see the thumbnails and stuff. I know they've been featured in some videos, but this is a new dynamic for me. Yeah, Ontario. So I've done a few sponsored videos for them, and as a result, they wanted to use those videos for ads. And so a lot of people have been showing me those ads. And it features my songs, my cinematography, my editing, all that stuff. So it's definitely a confidence booster. It's a confirmation of I know what I'm doing. I have to know what I'm doing if people like that want to work with me. And that's exactly why the price is going up and staying up for those who are not put on notice.
Right. And what he's worth. He's worth it.
Yeah.
He's worth it. He works hard. He works hard.
Yeah. Harder than people might think. And I think some of them know, but you know, it's trying to get the best deal and all that stuff. That stuff,
Yeah.
It's not flying for me no more.
Yeah.
Because I spent a lot of years giving people deals, companies, regular artists, all kinds of people I would used to work for free or for like pennies on the dollar.
You paid your dues.
I paid my dues.
That's it. You paid your dues. And now it's time to get paid.
Time to get paid. Because look, this costs money.
It does. It does. Some of you guys, might have been there when the studio was in his bedroom.
Yeah.
And he was pouring money into his equipment and just doing the thing. And now he's got the studio, and still, when time permits it, and when the money permits it, and when technology permits it, he's got what it takes to get the jobs done, and they know that.
They know.
But they want that bargain.
They know. Yeah, everybody wants a bargain.
Yeah.
I remember this light right here was the first like big thing I bought when I was still in the room. And the main reason why I'm like, okay, I gotta get a studio was because of that light, because it was so big. I had no space to move. I had no bed inside. I already got rid of the bed to make room for the filming studio, but then sleeping on a couch and then having this big old light, like there was not room again. So I'm like, bro, we gotta get something. And then that's when this popped up.
Yeah.
Luckily, and then we built it. You guys saw those videos. Some of you might have not seen it, but I do have a series where we built this wall here. Well, you can't see. Oh yeah, this wall right here on this side. Built it from our own hands.
Him and my honey.
So yeah, a lot of blood, sweat, and tears.
Yeah.
And money went into it, and still goes into it.
It's called investing in yourself.
Yeah, and I try to tell people that because lately I've been getting these comments. People like, it's like old videos where I featured like a plugin that was free at the time.
Oh.
They're like, it's not free anymore. How can I get it, for free? And then I just have to say, like, I understand, because I've been there and like trying to get free stuff while you build up your craft. But at some point, if you want to take it seriously anyway, you have to spend money and invest in your craft. Otherwise,
Yeah.
like you're not going to get a MacBook for free. You're not going to get a capable computer for free. If you're trying to do YouTube, you're not going to get a camera for free. You eventually have to spend money. And like, that's not to say you have to buy expensive stuff, but you gotta just stop trying to get free stuff.
Yeah. At some point.
At some point.
At some point, you're going to have to spend the money to invest in yourself. And as he said, it's not going to, you might be able to catch a deal here, a deal there.
Yeah.
But at some point, you are going to have to drop some money.
Yeah.
Not a couple hundred, not a couple euros, or wherever you're from.
Yeah.
You're going to have to drop some money or make some payments that you didn't want to pay to get the education you need, get the equipment that you need, get the help that you need, whatever your thing is. And so coaching or, take a class, anything. And at some point you have to tell yourself that you're worth it.
Yeah.
But you got to know when you're ready, because if you're not ready and you spend that money knowing that you're not going to do the thing, whatever it is, then you've wasted money.
Yeah.
So you got to be wise.
You get people that try to place the blame on others. Not everybody does that, but like when they do that, it's like, oh, I didn't succeed because this external thing or this like this person didn't support me enough, or you're responsible. Like, of course, we wouldn't be artists without an audience.
Right.
But you are ultimately responsible for your own growth and success as an artist.
Right.
So if you're not investing, or if you're investing too much too soon, it's like running a business. Businesses fail because people make the wrong decisions at wrong times. I think if I would have tried to have this studio in 2018, I would have failed miserably because I wasn't even making enough money to cover, the overhead.
Yeah.
But because I spent the time in building relationships with brands and honing my craft, knowing how to work cameras and all that stuff, and getting these cinematic effects and everything, now I can say or charge what I want to charge because I took that time. Because investments, it's not just money. I mean, like, that's the main thing you think about. But it's also your time in that thing, your knowledge that you gain. That's investing something.
Yeah.
And that time with whatever task or craft will give you the experience to be able to work with larger companies or larger artists, things like that. So, yeah.
What you guys saying out there? Let's see.
Let's see. So Simona is in India. We say ma. I even call my mother sometimes. Yeah, Kelly does that.
We say ma too. Sometimes.
Yeah, we say ma. Yeah.
Ma.
Your progress is steady, and that's important. That's another thing. Like there's been times where I felt like I've hit standstills, and maybe it feels like that. But then when you have other people on the outside, that confirm or tell you, like, man, I'm so happy to see where you're going. I'm like, where am I going? I felt like I was going nowhere. But then these strangers, or even sometimes people will say, I saw you go from this to this.
Right.
Then you think to yourself, wait a minute.
Yeah. Because they knew you when you were 12 playing then versus now.
Yeah.
And then some of them even knew you in the beginning of you just getting on there and trying to feel your way out. And they like, whoa.
Yeah. I had recently a subscriber who's still subscribed from the very beginning recently tell me he rediscovered my videos, because sometimes YouTube does that. If people stop watching your stuff, they just stop showing your videos, which doesn't make sense to me.
It's dumb.
But I had one guy recently come back and he's like, bro, your growth is insane, and and I'm like, well, I feel like I have been on an incline, but it hasn't felt as dramatic as people say, and I guess that's because I'm in the driver's seat, and you don't always notice how far you go.
Right.
When you're the one doing the stuff.
Yeah.
I produce and write music for a living, and it can be kind of a thankless job at times. Yeah.
True.
Oh, yeah.
True.
100%. I'm trying to get on your level. Your hard work is getting recognized. I know that feels amazing. It does. It does, really. And I still don't think, and maybe this is like a cocky statement, but I still don't think that, I don't want to say that enough people recognize it, but I'm talking more so in terms of like, more so companies and certain influencers being recognized for doing things that I feel I should also be kind of in that realm. It happens, on occasion, but I think a lot of other creators kind of experience it more than I do. Not saying that I need that validation, but it's always nice to get recognized by, like, for instance, YouTube or
yeah. There's a saying that about recognition or of being appreciated in certain ways, and the saying goes like this: recognition, babies cry for it, men die for it. So even though as kids we want the attention of our parents, the attention of our friends, the attention of our big brothers and big sisters or whatever, but as men and women, when we get older, we still want recognition. We still want to be seen. We want to be seen. You don't have to, well, it'd be nice to give me a dime. I was going to say, you don't have to give me a dime. But I want to be seen, and I want to be seen for who I am.
Yeah.
I don't want you to see me in your light. I want you to see me in mine.
That's how you lose your sense of self. Because then you start being recognized for things you don't want to be recognized for.
Yeah.
Even if they're things that you enjoy doing, like I feel like that happened to me for a while on here, like making other people's beats, doing remakes and stuff.
Right.
And I think that's still kind of haunting me to this day, because YouTube is categorizing my channel still in there. And I think that's one reason why my views aren't as much as other creators, because I still have this like catalog of videos that's just instrumental remakes. Because there have been some creators that delete their old videos, and then all of a sudden their new stuff that they pivoted to just skyrockets. So I think that's what I have to do. But that's something that I'm like, when I pivoted, I'm like, I don't want to be known as the remake guy. Like, I make my own music.
Right.
So it's important to be seen for who you are and what you do, what you're creative at.
Yeah, definitely.
I think you do have a channel, actually. Somebody said, please start a channel for Mom.
I do have a channel. I'm still trying to figure out.
Still trying to work out
what I want to. I know I don't want it to be about one thing. I'm still trying to figure out what I want to do. I do have a channel though.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You here sometimes. Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't matter. Yeah, but sometimes I'm in the room and I say things or whatever. Is Kelly on?
She might be. Sometimes Kelly comes in and doesn't say anything.
Yeah.
Let's see. Anything worth putting effort towards costs, even things that don't involve money. Exactly.
That don't involve what?
Money.
Oh. Yeah.
Mystic says, what are you both spiritually inclined towards? As I always
Feel a spiritual vibe around you.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's funny you ask, and I've told this story a couple times, but this room here,
part of this
building,
room
used to be our old church.
Yeah.
I used to play the organ right back
in this corner.
right there.
And it was a much bigger room.
We didn't have this wall here. So, I guess apostolic is like the more niche term, but when I say that,
Pentecostal.
Exactly.
Actually,
people usually don't know what that means. So Pentecostal.
Yeah. Apostolic is one of the faiths within the Pentecostal genre.
Yeah.
And yeah, we are. I'm a minister. And so is my husband. So we are church. We are church. He was born. All of our children were born and raised in church.
And that's actually how I learned how to play.
Yeah.
I learned how to play. I mean, like, movies had a hand in that, but it was mostly me being at church, and this is like, I guess, after, you know, becoming a fan of Michael Jackson. I'm like, ooh, I want to do that, and I want to perform. But I wanted to like make my own music, and so at church, I'm like, I can do that. I can like play keys or whatever. So I would watch other organists or watch my dad play, visiting pastors play, and then I eventually became the organist of my church, and I've been the organist since about 7. So whenever people come in here or come on my channel and tell me, oh, you don't know you're not a musician, bro, 26 years, okay? It's much longer than the 10,000 hours people will usually say.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh yeah.
But yeah, so I am and have been the organist of my church since 7. And so it's a big foundation. David's in here.
Oh. Hey babe. Hi. Hi. I sent out a text to the fam.
Oh, okay. Hey, it's Sophie. Sophie saying, hey, hello, Legend and Mom.
Hey,
We're
Sophie.
doing good. I'm doing better.
2.0.
They're asking for your channel so they can subscribe.
It's the name.
Somebody already put it
in there.
So,
Mom V Natural.
yeah, Mom V Natural. I wonder if I can go with this. So when it does come to whenever the content's uploaded, you can, you know, find it there. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, I'm trying.
I think we gotta start small. You can even try with like some shorts maybe.
I know. Yeah. It's a thing. I mean, you know, I initially was going to start a channel because even though I look like I'm 25, I was looking for someone my age. I'm 58, not ashamed of talking about my age at all. I was looking for somebody my age, my ethnicity on YouTube talking about things. Mm-hmm. And I couldn't find anybody. So I thought, okay, this must mean that I need to do something.
That's the biggest way to blow up.
Yeah.
And not saying you need to blow up, but like,
well, I know,
you know, but still.
So I wasn't finding me. I was finding, you know, other ethnicities and much younger ages.
Yeah.
But I wasn't finding me. And even still now, I'll find people the same age or older, but they're not my age. Mm-hmm. And if they are my age, they're talking about something that, else. You know, I just want to talk about life and about everything.
Definitely do that. You could brand it as like a, and by brand I just mean like try this type of content, but like as just like a wisdom, everyday life wisdom kind of thing. Those things do exist, and I think especially with the demographic, it would be good because if you're looking for that, then there's
tons of people,
probably millions of other people that are.
Yeah.
I know for sure there's a big audience for people with like a lot of kids, so even that is like an aspect. You know,
how did you do raising 5 boys?
What's up, Anthony, man? I was actually just thinking about you, not last week, last stream. Why does this keep clicking on people's stuff? Get out of here. Stop. I don't want to click. Okay. Yeah, I was thinking about you, man. Always nice to see your mom finally on the channel. It's lovely to have
Who is that?
Yeah, that's Anthony from Jamaica.
Hi, Anthony from Jamaica.
He's a very good musician as well. He's great at harmonies, great at production. Music is always feel good, always real. I would say played in church for years, where I got my start in music for sure. A lot of people do.
Yeah.
And a lot of them admit it.
You know, a lot
it's a breeding ground.
Oh yeah. A lot of the famous people that we see on the Grammys and on television, you know, and all that, a lot of them started in church. Because not only do you have music in church, because we tend to look at that, you know, but you have, some churches have theater.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's a lot going on in the church atmosphere that people don't realize. You know, and some are there and they're acting really good, and they take that acting skill right on to Hollywood.
Yeah. Well, that is a gift from God. That is true.
Yes, I still have mine. Thank God. So far.
Simona says that is a blessed room right there because it was previously a church.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, there is one. Well, it's a multi-purpose room, but there's a church often. I mean, sometimes you guys hear on stream where there's people like singing and stuff. So yeah, definitely still functions. David said them PKs run R&B. Yeah, the Pastor Kids run R&B.
For real.
They do.
It's for real. Yeah.
And production too.
Yeah.
A lot of producers.
Yeah.
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 Being from a Hindu background, I understand spirituality and music are interconnected. So, makes all sense. The music room was a church. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Very much connected. It's encouraging to see that you have such supportive parents. I'm blessed that mine are also very. Yeah. So that was one of the things we talked about in. Well, she approached me about it. I was thinking like it would happen at some point, but then my mom was like, what do you think about having me on stream and like showing support and stuff? I'm like, yes, I think that'd be good because, it exists and also there's a lot of wisdom there.
Yeah, I think that being Pentecostal, for those of you that know what that's about, can be very strict.
Yeah.
And unsupportive in ways that, when we get into what we believe. And I understand all of that. But the church as a whole, and not just Pentecostal churches, Christian churches, more so, we tend to not support people. And I say we, I'm not necessarily including me in that package, because I have a different way of looking at things sometimes. My children are always going to be my children. And it doesn't matter. And for those of you that may have children out there, you feel the same way too. Your children are going to always be your children. When they make mistakes, they're still my children. Mm-hmm. When they are hurting, they're still my children. When they're happy and successful, they're still my children. I just believe that, I'm not trying to make this a church situation, but the Bible says, with loving kindness have I drawn thee. And so that means our children also. Mm-hmm. So you can't be yelling and screaming at your children and nagging at your children and clean up that room and all of that 5,900 times a day and expect them to want to be around you or to respond correctly.
Yeah.
You got to show love. You got to know when to talk, when not to talk. With what Lorenzo's going through now, which is very life-changing, not only for him, we haven't really talked a whole lot about what he's going through, but it's also life-changing for me because I'm mom and he is my baby. I don't care if he's 69 and I'm 100. He's still my baby. And so, I have to know when to pull back and when to insert myself if I need to, and for the most part, because it's a grown man, I just pull back and wait for him to let me know when he needs me. And if I feel that he needs me, I'm around. I make my presence known. No. You got to be wise. And I don't say now what you need to do is you got to be wise. You got to be wise. Even at your age, you can be wise. I don't know how old y'all are, but you can be wise.
Yeah, maybe as young as I think that's somebody as young as maybe 16, 15 in here. That was a while ago. And then as old as one guy was in his 50s.
Yeah. Is that the guy that did the country song?
I don't know if he was that old. I didn't ask him, but I know he has he had daughters, so he's definitely
Yeah.
But yeah, that's something I do and I've always appreciated, about my parents. Like they don't have a heavy hand and haven't had a heavy hand in that sense. They teach us rights and wrongs
Mhm.
and common sense, and then they kind of just like not let us run rampant, but like they it's like letting a bird out in the wild. You got to trust that the bird's gonna. I had some eye crust. But yeah, they trust that what they taught you resonated and is still in there, and that they trust that you can. I don't want to say behave yourself, but that's essentially what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
Like, just navigate life in the way that you need to. And then when there is a time where you feel like, okay, I need some help. I mean, that's the whole point of family, friends, community, period.
Right.
I was just talking with Kelly about this yesterday, about how as much as people want to feel alone and be alone sometimes, I don't think any human is meant to be alone, like in life. Just at times.
Right.
But we're supposed to go through this with someone or some people.
Right.
Like that's part of the human experience. So
human beings are not beings that were designed to be alone.
Yeah.
We are communicable, meaning we need communication. Doesn't mean that it's wrong for you to be a loner.
Yeah.
Because for the most part, I'm a loner. For the most part, I don't have a bunch of girlfriends that I'm going here and there and taking girls trips and all that stuff. I've never been like that. Now I do have friends, and sometimes we do take a trip, or we go to lunch together, or shopping, or whatever. But most of the time, Monday through Friday, I'm alone.
Yeah.
My husband kind of is a workaholic. And so I'm okay with that. And so I'm by myself, and I enjoy me. I like watching what I watch on television. Every now and then I'll go downstairs and I'll watch what Lxgend and his twin brother are watching, all the craziness, whatever.
More compilations.
Yeah. I'm sometimes I'm on the stream watching y'all talk.
Yeah. With the dog.
Anthony Rockers, he said something on there.
So, well, first he said he played at church for years, but because of Lxgend, I started producing, which I did not know.
Really?
I thought you were producing before, and then you just saw my stuff, but that's actually awesome to hear.
Wow.
Then he asked, does your mom of course. Does your mom sing, and would you do a song with your mom? Yeah, so, I mean, yeah, pretty much the whole family sings or raps or plays an instrument. So she does sing. She actually was the choir director for some time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I act.
Yeah, she was actually Dorothy in The Wiz twice.
Yeah.
Oh, the second time was on at the other building.
Yeah.
But we did it the first time at Spreckles Theater, which was like an iconic downtown San Diego theater. It's crazy how that came to be.
Yeah.
And would you do a song? Of course I would. I think we've actually talked about this a few times, but it's one of those things, I think, where you just gotta have the moment present itself, as I always say, kind of like now, because between work and life and stuff, it can be hard to line up those kind of things. But it's similar to like how I did two albums with my dad. I produced him also in this building, or actually this building in general.
Yeah.
So that's something I feel like will come at some point. He looks just like his mom. I love it.
Hi, Ty87. Is it Tia or Ty?
Ty, yeah.
Hi.
God's gift to us is life, and what we do with our is our gift back to him. That's a really great.
That is right.
Yeah.
That is right.
And that's why I do feel like, I'm not saying everybody has to feel like this, but I can speak for myself. In making music and uploading videos, I want to do more than, like, obviously I want to make money and survive, but one of my main points of inspiration, aside from loving making music, is making stuff that helps other people, whether it's helped them out of whatever they're in me being honest about what I'm going through, or helping them to learn how to do their craft in a more natural and connected way. So I definitely agree with that. I was just about to ask you, how do you feel about people who have other beliefs change them after growing up, but I feel like you wouldn't mind as long as they're respectful? Yeah, I mean, that's how I believe. Well, for me, I can say I've had many friends, I've known many people who have had other beliefs or have changed their beliefs to something else. And I come from the mindset of, because there's a lot of things in my life or in like society that I don't believe in myself, or that I don't resonate with myself. But if it's not harming other people or that person, even though that's their own doing, or if it's not, you know what I mean? Like, just in that sense, then like, do what you want to do. I'm not living for you, you know?
I'm sure of it. Every faith or denomination believes their faith or denomination, am I saying that right?
Yeah.
To be true, to be the truth. And hey, whatever works for you works for you. I believe what I believe. It is not my job to condemn somebody else for their beliefs. That's not my job.
Right.
My job is to love them.
Exactly.
My job is not to crush them, to wag my finger in front of them, because prior to me becoming close to God, I was a trip too. You know what I mean? And so who am I to condemn them? That's not my job.
Yeah.
And so therefore there won't be any condemnation coming from me. I don't have a heaven or a hell to put anybody in.
Yeah.
So, all I can do, and what I'm commanded to do by God, is to love. And sometimes that's difficult, if somebody has hurt your feelings or hurt one of your children, okay, or or something like that, but it still can be done.
Yeah.
It still can be done. So,
and also, just thinking about this thing you said, like, change them after growing up. I just take that as maybe like, because what I feel a lot of people do also is like, they do, and they should do this, like their own studying, their own, as long as it's the right sources,
Yeah.
But they do their own diligence, and they learn things for themselves. And I think that's part of the journey. You have to detach from what someone else is constantly saying you should believe in and all that stuff, and kind of just make sure you're not being bamboozled by some cult, like, so that's, I think, a very important thing. And I also believe that within I'm not gonna say all, but within a lot of religions, there's something to learn from different aspects of different religions. Because like I can only speak for my experience, like when I went to China, for instance, and I just learned how respectful they were of I think they called them temples, where they would have their worship, there's an amount of what do they call it, like reverence and respect, and like you carry yourself a certain way. And that inspired me to like, okay, well, how can I apply this to, my own life, or like the things that I believe in? And I think in that you can find different pieces in other teachings that there's just that they're like, everybody's got something to contribute.
We can all definitely learn from one another, regardless of what background we come from, what culture we live in. We all have something to contribute. We all have something to contribute, and that's what makes the world so wonderful too is because if we were all
If everything was the same,
yeah,
it'd be so
boring.
Imagine like trying to travel and you're just seeing the same stuff you see
Right.
in America.
Why go
like,
anywhere?
Why would I go anywhere?
Boring.
But
as it relates to is it Sophie?
Yeah.
That still hanging on that question,
changing them after you grow up.
change them out. We've had that experience, and I don't know if my other son is on here now, but
yep, he's right there.
Hi, Michael. I get so giddy with my kids. His beliefs slowly turned, almost. I felt at the time completely different from what we had raised our children to believe, and for a minute that hurt, and there was a lack of understanding and a lot of things, and but because of the closeness of our family, there was a very we handled that situation very, I think we handled it well, and there are many people that would say that I shouldn't support or agree. There are things that I disagree with still, but that's my son, and I'm gonna love him till the day I die. I ain't gonna say till the day he die, because hopefully I'll be gone before him, you know, or any of them, because all of us, believe it or not, as you grow, you learn, and your beliefs change in certain areas, and in some people everything changes, you know.
Yeah.
But you still need to know how to love people, regardless of whether you agree on a topic, which is can be so sensitive or not. So
thank you, Torres, for the $3. Mama Dukes. Eddie's the boy.
yeah.
So let me follow your footsteps, doing a 9 to 5 in guitar, saving bit by bit, getting equipments. It's tough having to take care of my siblings, mom, and build my dreams at the same time, but hope's alive. That's the thing, it's bit by bit. That's even how I got here, because I had my channel. I mean, technically I had a channel since 05, but like, let's be real, I was uploading dancing videos with my dog. 2013 is when I kind of got more serious, and I started investing more, but the stuff came piece by piece over, well, yeah, since then. So that's 10 years now.
Yeah.
And so that's all it takes. Is that I always like to say to myself, a little at a time goes a long way over time. So bit by bit, you take that one little step, and then over a period of years, those little steps, you see how far those steps took you, you know?
Yeah.
So that's all it is.
Yeah.
What's up, Morgan? I haven't seen you in here in a while. How cool that your mom came in the studio. Hope all is well. All is definitely well. I hope all is well for you as well. That's a lot of wells. Something special about a mom is so there for her children. I can tell you got a great mom. My mom is incredible, and I'm definitely a mama's boy. Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with that. I've been following you for a minute, and I will be 62 this year. Wow.
Hey!
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Alone because I'm the only boy on my side. So this is what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Being alone. Michael. What's up? What's up, Mike? What's the name of the album that you did with my dad? And where can I find it? Asking for a friend. So the first one is called The Secret Place. I forget what the second one was called.
Wait, what was the second one?
The Secret Place by DB1. I might have to try to find it.
I can find it.
Okay. That was a while ago.
It was in the year of our Lord.
Yeah, I produced I think I produced both of them actually entirely. And I'm not gonna lie, I gave some nice beats I was sitting on for a while, but I couldn't write to. I'm like, okay. I wouldn't be here if it were not for you, so you can have this really dope beat. Just submitted your intro project. Okay. We'll get into that in a bit. Everyone is spiritually connected regardless what faith they follow. I agree with this.
What do you say?
Everyone is spiritually interconnected regardless of what faith they follow.
And you know what, Mystic? What is that?
Mystic Rebel.
Mystic Rebel. Even when people don't believe that, they're still spiritually connected.
Yeah.
And so, yeah.
Let's see. Jody said, "What is it like giving birth to a legend?"
It was a powerful moment.
The lightning struck, and then the hospital split in two.
Oh,
and I came down on a cloud.
This guy, woo. he. Let's see. Let's just put it like this. He wasn't in there by himself. He had his twin brother,
yeah.
And initially they were both head down. So I don't know. Here's Lxgend, and here's his twin brother, head down. And that morning that they were born, this guy who was head down decides to turn all the way around, and he pushed them like this. So his twin brother was laying across him, and his head was here. He was coming out feet first. Thank you. So then I had to have a C-section because of that flip that he did. So yeah.
Highly impulsive behavior. Michael says, everybody's on a journey and path that
Yes.
they receive from the Creator, and if we do not walk it out, you can't say that you are honoring the God in yourself.
Right.
I agree with this.
Absolutely. Encore. It's called Encore.
Encore. That's yeah.
Yeah. It's called Encore the Rebirth.
Uh-huh. So the first Anthony, the first one is The Secret Place. The second one is called Encore
The Rebirth.
The Rebirth, and it's by DB1. DB1. Oops. It's a capital, but you know. I think if you Google it, it might just come up. I know it's supposed to be on Bandcamp.
I don't know if they can see that. It might be too.
No, it's got a focus and stuff.
That's the first one.
Okay. Oh yeah, I was gonna say in regards to like going your own path. This is something I remind myself of all the time when I do my comparison stuff, because I tend to do that a lot. And, oh, they're further along than I am, or oh, this person's here when I'm not there. And I remember or remind myself that like I have my own journey to go, and if I don't go that journey, because it's meant for me, it's
right.
It's
what
yours. They do is not. It's not obviously not for me.
Right.
What I live, it's my path, and if I weren't to go on my path, I don't think I would have what I have now and where I am now.
Right. And that's the problem that people have even when they're doing similar things. Like this musician is doing the same thing as this musician, so they think it looks the same. Like it may even sound very similar, but they're still two very different individuals, and they're doing things in their own way, and they're on their own journey.
Yeah. Doris upgraded the studio. I want to hear how you upgraded it. What did you purchase, my friend? Was it like a equipment, or was it like stuff like this, like setting wise? Your mom reminds me of my mom. Nice. Riz said the Bible talks about that. Never stray far from the path.
Right.
Yeah. Hoodie, the pain of a dream, but it will all unfold as intended. Yeah, I feel like as long as you're following that path, like we've been saying, it will unfold as intended, because you're going as you're intended to go. You're not trying to go against the grain and make up your own way.
Okay, I can only be me, so please forgive me for being me. God knows the Bible says He knows the way that I take, and then I was thinking about this scripture this morning, says that he prayed that our faith would fail us not. There's so many ways of looking at that. If you've got somebody who is closer or the closest to God, praying for your success, praying on your behalf, as long as you do what you're supposed to do, you can't fail. The thing about it is, we have to just take it one day at a time, because we want, we're human. So we want instantaneous success.
Yeah.
We want that record label to call right now. we
want that first thing that we send out. They're gonna say yes.
Yeah,
oh,
yeah.
No, you gotta send out thousands of demos.
Yeah.
I mean, demos don't even exist anymore.
Most times, on average, by the time we see these people getting a Grammy, they've already been in the business for like 20 years, and it's their first Grammy.
Yeah. 29
years, 30 years, and circulation, people know them. Though other famous people know them, but it's just now their time.
Yeah.
So, and the Bible talks about a kairos moment, meaning at the appointed time, at the time that you're supposed to strike gold, so to speak, it's coming. Mm-hmm. It's coming, but you'll need to have all of that experience behind you. Let me give you one scenario. I'm gonna shut up. In America, I don't know about any other country, but in America, you can go to military school, and when you graduate military school, you can come out as an officer, and you go in, you're in the military, and you're instantaneously an officer. You're over a bunch of people that came through the ranks, went to boot camp, went to school to be, come whatever, E6 or E5 or E3 or whatever. But then you have, so they have a lot of book knowledge. But then you have this one guy who, as soon as he graduated from high school, or maybe a year or two later, decided, I'm going to go in the military. So he goes the slow route. He goes into boot camp. And he's in there at boot camp for 6, 8, 12 weeks, however long they're in it. And then he goes up through the ranks and he becomes an officer. Which one do you think can do the job best? The one that came up through the ranks, because he has all this experience behind him.
Yeah.
Not the officer that was in a book this whole time. I'm not saying that book knowledge is wrong. Hey, if that's the route you want to take, but just know that officers in the military that come straight from the military school, you've got all these people that you're trying to lead. They know how to do the job. Yeah. You don't. You just have book knowledge. So you have to put your time in. You got to pay your dues in a lot of things.
I did not know. Torres said he's a proud U.S. Army vet.
All right.
Thank you for your service, my sir.
All right.
Did not know that, man. So I'm trying to catch up. So grateful for your wisdom, both of you. Hope you have a great day. I definitely will. Hoodie asked, "Is your mom musical?" We kind of touched on this, but yeah, everybody in my family is. My mom sings. Actually, my mom also played the piano we used to have in our house when she was pregnant with us.
Yeah.
And sometimes I attribute my musical knowledge to maybe that. I don't know scientifically or biologically how that works, but I would say maybe that did help me, learning stuff while I'm in the womb. But yeah, she's definitely musical.
I play the drums.
And yeah, she's playing the drums at our church.
I started playing the drums. This guy didn't show up. The drummer didn't show up one Sunday. My husband plays the drums. My oldest son plays the drums. And my youngest son can play a mean pair of air drums. I think he can play. And so I grew up around all these drummers. And I never played ever in my life. And the drummer one Sunday was not at church. And this particular song we were singing, I wanted to hear some drums. So I just got up and walked over to the drums and started playing. And I've been playing ever since. And that was only, ever since. That's only been how many years ago? Maybe 3 years ago, 4 years
Something
ago?
like that.
3 or 4 years ago. Who starts playing the drums in their 50s?
And actually good at it too. Don't be missing.
Hey, I'm the pocket queen, okay?
They just started talking about You flipping in the womb. He said you flipped the sample at birth.
That's funny.
Changed his mind about coming out, turn around like a legend. Twins making the sign of the cross in the womb.
Right.
Jody told me he's gonna check out Dad's album. My song "Lonely Summer" made me think. Okay, so his song "Lonely Summer" made me think about when my mom banned me from listening to hip hop music until I was 16. I had to listen to top 40 songs from the 60s. Yo.
Now let me say, I, being apostolic Pentecostal, we're taught. I know I definitely was taught. Now, it's so much to this. We don't have enough time, but we're taught not to listen to worldly music.
I used to think it was worldly, like world, when I was younger.
In other words, secular
Yeah.
music. And because there is a belief there that, I mean, things do get a little, get a little risque, a little raunchy, a little, whatever. So I get it. And, but do we teach our daycare lady not to sing Mary Had a Little Lamb?
Right.
Do we, I mean, you know what I mean? So that's not gospel either. We're like gospel Christian, all of that.
That's one of my biggest.
But that's not gospel either. Three blind mice. Do I have to stop singing that because it doesn't have Jesus in it or whatever?
One of my biggest gripes.
We have to be careful about what we're saying. And even as we were raising our children, I didn't say, no, you ain't. I wasn't that hard or harsh. I didn't want them to until they really understood what they were listening to. I didn't want the music to be such an influence that they would go outside and call somebody out their name.
Yeah.
I didn't want it to influence them so much that they would, incite violence or agree with violence and things of that nature. So, I mean, there's some good music out there, that doesn't do any of that. And of course, I'll probably get nailed to the cross for that one, but but it's true. It's true, and I'm a music person, so and that's not to say that I still have some beliefs about certain things, but I don't. My kids are all grown. I've raised them the way that I feel God intended for me to raise them, and their lives are their own. I can't make their decisions for them, and all of that. I mean, come on. I'm trying to think of a way to say this because children of all ages watch the video. But when a couple is being intimate,
yeah,
we're not singing
at the cross.
The cross, we're not
Christ.
singing. What's another one popular? Amazing Grace. Yeah. We're not singing Amazing Grace. You know what I'm saying? So we need to think about that. We need to think about what we're teaching as a church body. Because that's one of the reasons why a lot of people have turned their, they've come away from the church because to them, all of these things have just got on their last nerve and they said enough.
Yeah.
And what we don't want, it's a wonderful thing to come together and be able to worship together and have a good time in the Lord. But if you're running people away from the church because you're trying to be so hard, that's not so wise.
Yeah. So Taurus got new monitors, new laptop, M1 Pro, MacBook. It's actually a good time to buy that MacBook because I know it's running pretty cheap since the M2 came out, but M1 Pro is actually better in terms of cooling. So good choice. And a new mic. I still gotta trade this one out for the mic I want to sub in. Been busy so much, I thought I'd stop by. Nice to see you. Glad you chose to stop by. Give us your presence. Bless us with your presence. Struggle is real. The struggle is just your preparation for your arrival. So yeah, he's referring to.
Mm-hmm. Michael said pay dirt.
For pay dirt. I wasn't sure what this was referring to. So nice from you remind me that the time is going to come for me eventually. I've been feeling so off, so unmotivated and scared for the future. That is truly so amazing to hear. I've felt this myself, not in terms of, well, sometimes in terms of my music or like my career, but I would say I've felt it more so in terms of like me being a family man. Like I'm excited for it, but I'm also, low-key cautious and anxious.
Yeah.
Because it's a different level of responsibility and like all that stuff. And I've never experienced even, living outside of my parents' home, which I have no problem saying. I used to be shy to say that, but so I'm right there with you. I feel that too, but I'm also like, well, when you feel uncomfortable, that's usually how you know you're like, I won't say usually, but a lot of the time that's how you know you're in the right place. Because like life isn't always supposed to feel comfortable, and sometimes getting out of that comfort zone is where you find those breakthroughs and you step into the next level.
Right.
So yeah, it was my goal to live in the pages of my own story this year. Comparison is unfair and robs us of being present in developing pages of our own story due to it not looking like someone else's success. Agreed 100%.
Mm-hmm.
Reading somebody else's book.
Mm-hmm.
About to retire. Jay Dillon.
All right.
Okay.
I'm not even about to retire. Wow. That's very nice. Congratulations.
Torres again says, I love your mom's energy. She makes me want to hug my mom.
Hug her tight.
That's a opposite of make you want to slap your mom. Talking about you on drums.
Yeah.
Cancer energy. Mom is an all-rounder. Never too late. So you talking about you playing the drums. Mom stays in the pocket. Never too late to try something new. When I was 27, one day in the shower, I finally realized it's the Itsy Bitsy Spider was a song about trying to succeed. Yeah, dude. Down came the rain and watch spider. Came the sun, tried to follow the rain. Itsy Bitsy Spider with a spout again. Yeah. I had to go through that to like remind myself of the lyrics. But yeah, dude, that's like, and how can you? That's what bugs me about some of like believers out there. Say, oh, if it ain't God, it's the devil. Like, how can you say that about a song like that? It's encouraging people to keep going even when the rain washes you out, the storm comes, quote unquote, and you still choose to climb up again. And yeah, so I agree. We submitting today? Yes, we are. So you can actually, there's a pinned comment that shows the link to submit. We're grown, we can say it. E-Magic is back. Hey, what's up, E-Magics? Spelled your own name wrong. It's all good. What advice would you give musicians starting over in the creative and or music production process? I like your channel. It's cool. We should collab. The doctor and I are streaming you guys in the living room while we work. Great background audio, inspirational vibes. That's very nice to hear also. It's David here. So this is Lo-Fi Girl playing in the background. It's great for streams actually, and I sometimes work with her playing in the background, along with some rain sounds that also keeps me very calm and relaxed. So advice I would give a musician starting over in the creative and or music production process. Starting over. In regards to music, I mean, it depends if you're producing the stuff or if you're just writing the stuff, but I know you produce, so I would say, and I kind of talked about this in my latest video, but not to say that I started over, but I started like a new type of workflow when I write songs. And what I would say is like now I encourage people to make what they feel in the moments that they decide they're going to create something. So if it's music that you're making and you're producing it, or even if you already have a beat or beats to select from and you're writing it, when you go to work, you see how you feel in that specific moment, and you don't try to like make up a story. You don't try to step outside. What story can I write today? Even though some people are very good at that, they can do that, whatever. I'm not the best at it anymore. I prefer to write like whatever I'm feeling, because I know that's when I can tell the truest, and I can express the truest in that moment. So I usually meditate for like 30 minutes. I'll just play like some headspace thing, or I'll just sit in like the rain sounds, and then I'll see how I feel after that 30 minutes, and then I'll go in, and since I produce, I kind of just it could start with a loop, samples, whatever, or it could start with me just playing something, chords that I feel are resonating at that time, and then that turns into an idea, and then from there I just kind of go, literally go with the flow. I flow with the creativity as it comes, and when it stops, I stop. I don't try to like force it. I saw a good lesson on TikTok from Mr. Hudson, who kind of explained something like that, but he said when you start a song idea, start a timer for an hour, and then for that hour you work on that idea just as much as you can and get out everything you feel in that hour, and then once that hour's up, stop, and then you start another hour and you just do the next idea, and then you just keep doing that for as long as you want to. Each hour you start new ideas and you pour your all into that idea. Then at the end of however long that session is, or even if you want to come back the next day, you see from those ideas which one do I like the most, or do I feel sounds the best, or do I feel like working on right now. And then you spend however much time he said on that one idea. So you have all these ideas that you have a general foundation for. Then you come back to it later on, and you have all these ideas you can come back to later on to further build on. So that's definitely one thing you can do. The creative process is pretty much similar for me. I generally don't, even when like a sponsor is, you know, on my back about like trying to get a video or whatever, I generally don't, if I don't feel creative or I don't feel like making something, I don't force it, because I know when I do that, I burn out. The idea I don't like, and even if I do like it, by the end of the creation, I feel drained, and I don't like feeling drained. I feel like after you create something, you should feel more so revitalized than drained.
You though, that's what it's just my belief too, because you used to be in the music production and creative space as far as music goes, like early on back in the day, you know, when you had a bunch of material that you had created, mm-hmm. and it was I'm talking about David's music, mm-hmm. And it was sounding like soundtracks. I mean, I'm like, where is Steven Spielberg at? We need to submit this. You know, I think that even though that was years ago, and that may not even be a space that you're not a direction that you're headed towards, but I think that once you just get back in, it'll kind of be like riding a bike.
I was gonna say, yeah.
Yeah, because I do think that, you know, if it's in you, it's in you. Now the technology may have changed, you know, and certain things may have changed, but now you see where Renzo get it from. It's built. But all of that may have changed, but what's in you has not. The creative in you has not.
Yeah.
And it's just a matter of getting back on the bike and riding again, or getting back in the water and swimming again, or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Rockers. Yeah, so I'm actually I think I'm going to switch it to here, because I don't have well, I have a splitter, but I think it's like got a cord in it. We'll just have to mute the mic as we listen. Let me do that. As a minister of music, I don't limit myself to one kind of music, because gospel is not a genre. It is the good news of Jesus Christ, mm-hmm. and music is organized sound. That's you got it, dude.
You got it. You got it. Tell the doctor I said hi, David 2.0. Let's see here.
Yay. I might just plug one speaker. Stretch. So it might stretch. Shall see.
He said the Disney jingle. Is that the one?
Beautiful,
Beautiful Day.
Who?
Yeah.
Who said that?
Riz.
Oh yeah, Beautiful Day.
My grandbabies.
So that's the one I told him that you. I just realized I didn't plug the.
You told me that what?
I never plugged the microphone in. Oops.
Oopsie, oops.
I'm surprised the sound was good. It's probably better now. But yeah, that's when I told him. You said it's a bit to Disney.
You should. Namaste.
Scared.
In Jesus' name. Father.
Oh, here we go.
While Legend's doing that, I am gonna have to go in about 45 minutes.
Yeah.
Because I have a lunch date with my mom and my sister. I forgot about it. Otherwise, I'd stay the whole time.
Thank you for raising this boy. He helps us a lot.
He helps me a lot.
I feel kind of dumb that the mic doesn't.
That's okay. Let's go.
All right. So.
Wallace, mom is in the studio. Love it. Me too, Wallace. Felt like it should be a commercial for sure.
Yeah.
Yep.
We could be gonna go get some food. So I suppose we can get into our first mission. We're gonna move. Trying to get me to buy stuff. So since this setup is kind of weird, so I have to mute the microphone because it's gonna play through the speakers. So we're gonna play the song first and then say stuff afterwards.
Okay.
That way there's not feedback and all that.
Okay.
All right, so first song is coming from Ronald. Yeah, I don't want to say her last name because I know people sometimes don't like it.
Yeah.
But this will be the first, this is the paid submission, so that's the one we're doing first. And then after that, we have some free ones we can pick and choose from. If you guys want to submit, I don't know if this is the updated list.
So technical.
So, yeah, usually it's on the parts. The lighting's not great.
That's okay.
But I hope you guys can read it. If not, I can just tell you. So, yeah, first is right here. Let us go. We'll listen and then we'll speak after. This. Wait, testing. All right, no. Why is it still? It's still going? Oh, it's the wrong microphone. So I have to do it from here.
I'll be honest. Got me drunk on you. I got a love hangover for you, baby. Can you help me? I need your love. Your love that's so good. I don't wanna be sober. Let your love hang me over. It's alright. your phone. Let me know that you all alone and you need me too. Oh, don't leave me hanging. I know. When I have, you know. I know you don't. Oh yeah. You let me in. Baby, I wanna touch you. They tell me that love is pain. Yeah, we've been through some things, and I don't wanna be sober. I just wanna hold you. Baby, let me mold you. Drugging with my energy. We can both be fiends for each other for eternity. I think this love hangover was worth my weight off. Wishing on a wishing well. You're so special, kiss and tell. I'm not sober when you're close. For your love, I do the most.
All right. Yeah, I remember hearing that actually on your TikTok. That one part that it's got a good groove, man.
I like it.
Very smooth, nice song. Taurus
Yeah.
says this is noise. We got catchy, love the layers. The layers are always good on Ron's songs. I should say love more songs.
That's the kind of it reminded me of like being in a car on a summer day, maybe the top down if you have a convertible,
Yeah.
you know, and driving cross country or just driving, you know, I like that. Yeah.
What I like the most about the song, I mean, there's a lot to like because the groove is good. Um, who said it? Drew said it was smooth. I think the groove is very smooth, and it does remind me of like one of them like cool summer jams, like my mom was saying, like you know if you had a drop top or something like that. But what I liked was some of the unexpected chords in the progressions, because you know I'm a pianist, so like
Right.
that's gonna.
I didn't hear none of that. He heard all of it.
What is the like
Well, I heard that,
progression
but
there was
yeah.
good, but then it would do like these random like stuff that I would only imagine like church musicians kind of go up to and like
Yeah.
so it had that predictability factor, but it also had the factor of surprises, and that's something I always say is important for a song, because you have to keep people guessing and keep their interest piqued in some way, shape, or form, whether that's with the music and the choices that you do with your progressions or your sounds or whatever, or if it's with your vocals or both. It could be both too. But I think this was a good balance of both, and I believe this is out. I believe it's out because I saw you posted on your TikTok. So I'm assuming that was promo for it being out or promo that it will be out. If it's not, you need to put it out because that was another good groove. I think I like all your songs, man. It'll be out next month. Okay, okay. That is wait. So it's called. What is it called again? The name of the song. I love the negative space in the chorus. It gives a delicious sense of suspense. Love hangover. Okay.
Oh.
Yeah, because you were talking about like, I don't want to be sober, right? That's a good. See, the songwriting too.
I'm laughing because okay, I grew up in the 70s, okay? So the name of the song is Love Hangover and then making mention you don't want to be sober. It reminded me of an old Diana Ross song. I don't know if I think it's called Sweetest Hangover, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Where she says, I have the sweetest hangover. I don't want to be over or something like that. And that just kind of reminds me of that.
Submit. Hope she likes country. Well, she definitely does because I know that song that got submitted 3 weeks ago.
Oh,
a big
that-
fan of.
oh.
That was her favorite song on that stream.
That song,
That was a good song.
that song almost had me in tears.
Yeah. Synopsis.
Sorry that I'm eating all the popcorn, but I'm hungry.
I think I remember that song, and I'm 21. Bro, can you reply to my comment, please? Yes, I can.
Oh,
Congrats. I reply to everybody.
wait, it's up there.
Oh, this one. Hey man, I'm just a beginner. I can write some lyrics, but how can I learn to make the beats that I have in my mind? How can you learn to make the beats? I mean, that's a loaded question. It depends what you know. It depends what you don't know. It depends what equipment you have, what
Yeah.
software you use. So I can't really give you any specifics. What I can say is you're in the right place. Just go on YouTube. Google how to make beats for a beginner. I have many videos on how to make beats for beginners, but it's in specific software like Machine or Lander. I'm not Lander. GarageBand, Logic. The easiest way you can start is by using loops. So if you get Splice or whatever, you just use loops. Somebody already made the melodies for you, even the drums for you. You put that stuff together, make sure it's all timed perfectly, and take it from there. That's how I started.
Don't be afraid.
Yeah, don't be afraid. You just have to
start pressing some buttons.
press buttons, turn knobs.
Yeah,
that's how I learned. There's always an undo button.
I am not. I don't know none of this stuff, right?
Yeah.
But it seems like that would be the sensible thing to do.
I'm all about like intuitive approaches to music. So like as much as I can say follow these steps, I think the best thing for anybody who wants to learn is to, because I learned this way, is to just try it. Get on and
get on it and do it. Just like I did them drums. I just got on it.
But yeah, thank you for that submission. Once again, I'm a big fan of you as an artist.
Very nice.
To be honest. And I know I've said this many times, but I'm gonna say it every time you submit. So, all the songs are good. They all have good grooves, good mixing too. The bass I really enjoyed. Actually, since we played it on the speakers, I got to hear it outside of just these. Because these don't have the best sound profile since they're meant for like flat recording. And that's why I use them, because that's what you need when you record. But playing it on my speakers, I got the sense of that bass rumble, so it felt really nice. Start pressing buttons is the realest. It's true. Gear, laptop, and a MIDI controller. Exactly. So you could get like one of those cheap like $70 MIDI controllers. It's like 25 keys. You could get a cheap PC, which those are super cheap. You can get a cheap used MacBook, honestly, and even a brand new ones. I mean, I know for some people it's not so cheap, but like the new MacBooks that are out, like the MacBook Air, you get those for as low as $799, brand new. So imagine how cheap used would be. Ellie. I have a degree in it, and I honestly learned more by just practicing and turning knobs. You see? This is coming from someone who has a degree, and I sometimes I wish I would have gotten a degree, but then I hear stuff like this, and people that tell me, or people that come in and be like, "Bro, I went to college for this, and you taught me more here in this video than I ever learned in college."
Sometimes experience. Now, for anybody who's gonna go get a degree and things, hey, do it. Mm-hmm. And for those that don't have the finances or the desire to do that, that's okay too. But just know, I think this is where the issue lies sometimes. Unfortunately, certain areas of these types of careers, people want to see a lot of times on a resume that you went to the university, that you went to college, that you have some type of book knowledge behind, or theory, music theory and all of that stuff. But then we're looking now at a society where we're starting to, thank God, starting to change that a little bit, in that if you can do the job, you're hired. It doesn't matter whether you have a degree or not. If you can do the job and you know the things, you can get hired.
Yeah.
Or you can, get contracted or whatever.
I use Mixcraft. I have not
used that yet, but I've heard a lot about it. Oh yeah, and I was gonna say, I already have a video, a dedicated video about vocal processing. I actually have probably more than 20 videos about that. So if you just look up IAMLXGEND vocal plugins or how to make vocal sound clean or 5 plugins to make vocal sound clean, IAMLXGEND, you're gonna find it. It can apply to podcasts, it can apply to music, anything with audio recording. So yeah, no problem.
The art of Drew. The art. He said you,
You
do
do
got.
not.
You
You
do.
got to take the right. Yeah, if you do take classes, you have to take the right
Yeah.
classes for sure. You don't want to be stuck in a class that teaches you something and you don't end up using it in your
Yeah.
music at all. Oh, I think I already responded to what I was going to respond to. Oh yeah, you don't. In regards to MIDI controller, so like you don't even need a MIDI controller. That is true. There's some not most, but there's some programs where you can use this keyboard, not this one exactly, but like your keyboard on your computer to play chords and do things like that. Or you can do how I started, and you can click in every individual note on the piano roll. It takes a lot of time to do that, but if you're desperate like I was, then it definitely works, and you can get a head start that way. All right, I'm gonna refresh.
Another one.
Yeah. So I'm gonna do is how would I say this? Woodrun? Woodrion?
Widrian.
Woodrian? Is that how you say your name? Are you still in here? I know I saw you earlier. Y. I think that might be
Widrian
how.
Lewis.
Is Woodrian in here? If I'm saying your name correctly. I'm assuming it's without crew because it's kind of got the same spelling. Let me know if you are, because I will do your song. I only want to do people's songs that are in the chat, though.
Does it say?
Where?
Hi, Legend.
Does mom know about Kelly?
Kelly?
Oh, of course.
Absolutely. She's gonna be my daughter in love.
Yeah.
I like her.
Giving the approval. She's actually met Kelly last year.
Mm-hmm.
And most likely we'll be seeing her again this year. I don't know if you're here, but okay. We're going to go to Torres. Are you still in the chat? Torres.
Yeah. Did you get my track?
Yeah, all right. So let's do you.
Let's do you.
I got to mute the mic. We'll do that, and then we'll come back.
Talking to my pistol, waiting for these pussy niggas. Can't stop, won't stop till the casket drop. 6 feet under shadow, big brother showed me the game. Came from the gutter brothers live the same. Can't wait to see my son grow. Some things he should've known about his daddy. Praying that today be a better day. Yeah, praying for a better day. Praying for a better day. Yeah, praying for a better day. Cops killed my homie just the other day. I can't lie, it makes me feel some fucking type of way. I miss my nigga every day. Boss man said work slow, gotta let you go. Damn, what am I gonna tell my hoe? Biggest fool, I'm born and bred, yeah.
Yeah, I think you said it's just the intro for the song, so it's a very short,
57-second.
about a minute. Yeah, I got you. That, I think, first of all, once again, because it's different playing this stuff on my speaker because I hear it in a different sound profile. So I can hear, he said, sorry, Mom, it's not PG. I expected as much, like, But what I was gonna say was I do like your, because it's all about expression, and I heard the story you were telling in here, and I'm assuming it's true about the loss that happened. And so, first of all, I mean, condolences there if it is a true story. But I want to commend you for telling that story in a song because I feel like that's what a lot of music. Um, I don't want to say that's what it's for, but for me, that's what it's for. Like being able to express, your pain or your triumphs and things like that. And I like how you didn't just leave it there, but you also came with like praying for a better day. So it's you can have the realization of like um and this is more so just about the lyrics, but you can have this down kind of mood because not all music is meant to be like happy and
Right.
stuff.
Right.
Uh but even in that you still seek the the end of the tunnel, the light at the end of the tunnel. And so I did appreciate how it wasn't all doom and gloom, but I also appreciate how it wasn't like fake. It wasn't like you trying to pretend that everything's hunky dory. In terms of the processing, I like how crisp the vocal sounds. I think this it could be the speakers. I don't know, or maybe it's just because I know you got a new microphone. I remember it was the TLM 103. I don't know if that's still the same one you're using. That's a really good microphone, but the mix on these vocals sounded really crispy. It sounded more crisp than what I've heard from you before. So I think the changes that you're making, the improvements, uh, it shows, and I can hear it. He said the respectful man in me cringed
Yeah.
hard at the beginning, but respect for the. No, yeah. Sounded great for me. Thanks. I'm taking your advice, dude. I'm glad it's helping. I'm really glad it's helping. A lot of times I do give my advice, and um, I know sometimes people are more so just looking to like get their music heard. So when they come in here, and other people like they're looking for the advice, and sometimes I give people advice that they don't really agree with or what. So I appreciate that, and I'm not saying people have to agree with my advice, but I do appreciate that what I say is helpful in some way because that's why I do this. I just want to help people get the best
Yeah.
sound that they want to get from their songs. Remember, that's what I'm saying. Remember your first song. So yeah, I remember how it was very boxy before, but it was still like you could hear what you're saying and all that stuff. But I could tell over the course of time, you using the equipment that you were using, you were making the best of what you had, knowledge wise, equipment wise, all that stuff. And the fact that you're able to take what I say and apply it, that is a that's that's how you get
That's
better.
that's a teacher's reward.
Yeah. Delivery was top tier. Brought it right home. I agree with that too. The delivery, that's something I also spoke about in my last video. Your cadence, your delivery, your tone, your emotion, your conviction, the song being real to you is the best way to bring it home, quote unquote, to make people feel the emotions in your song. Um, y'all are some of the sweetest families I've ever seen.
Who said that? Aww. How do you say that?
I think it's Cyanopsia.
Oh, wow.
Cyan. I always have to remind myself every time I get on here.
Thank you so much for your compliment.
Great song is a mix of lyrical story combined with music supporting that story. Exactly. Yeah, Cyanopsia. Yeah, I agree. I agree 100%. If you don't do one or the other, people feel something is lacking, even if they can't put their finger on it. I do think that it's felt. So when you do get that concoction, right, then it does hit for sure. You have a video related to
Budget.
budget equipments, or you can tell such as mic and headphones. I have one about a mobile production setup, which is more on the budget side, but it's probably not as budget as you're hoping. Um, I can make a video like that because I don't think I ever have. It's just that usually when I make those kind of videos, I like to have that tool so that I can like know for sure it's the right one. But right now, I don't know if I have any like super. This microphone is probably the only thing I would consider budget in my studio, and maybe my shorter MIDI controller. So I'll have to do some research to see what I feel comfortable saying is the best, but I can make that video, yes. Thank you, Torres, for that submission, as always. And also for the super chats. I appreciate it. Is there... Oh yeah, we don't have that much. Is Kenneth in here? Kenneth B. From North Carolina.
All right.
North Kakalaki. Are you sometimes planning to visit India? Yes, actually. There's no date, but that is where I plan to go at some point in the future because my fiance is of that descent. And so I would love to see, you know, it's the same way like I want to go see Africa, I want to go see Ireland. That's for my family and our heritage. But the same goes for visiting India. Plus, I love traveling. Yeah, of course. I feel like I can't be with an Indian woman and not ever visit India. That's just me personally, you know.
That's my name. Is it who?
Kenneth, but is it? So this is Kenneth. I'll just say it. Kenneth Blackburn. I don't know if they're in here. They did submit today at like 2 hours ago, 10:49, and they are from North Carolina. No, Kenneth. Wait, that is you. That is my real name, but I think your comment kind of confused me. So that is you? Yes? If so, I can play your song next. Awesome. Sorry, I misread your thing. I thought you were saying like, oh, I have that name too kind of thing. I didn't know that was... All right, so let's play you. We'll mute the mic and we'll play it.
Who is the one? He is the one. Who is the one? The one that I turn to. He is the one. The one that will mold you. He gives me strength with the power of sounding mind. Who is the one? The one that I turn to. He is the one. The one that will mold you. He gives me strength with the power of sounding mind. Who is the one? Who is the one? Who is the one? He is the one. He is the one. He is the one. Who is the one? Who is the one? Who is the one? He is the one. He is the one. He is the one. Who do they say you are? Who do they say I am? Anywhere I go, I'ma proclaim the Son of Man. The one who died and rose. The one who saved my soul. The one who showed me the narrow way on this bumpy road. You going toe to toe with all of my enemies. I see you intervene, then I feel you intercede. I know there's power and there's love in your energy. I truly do believe it's everything I need. Holy Spirit, you were there when I was at my worst. I'm praying for forgiveness for every time I ain't put you first. How could I forget? You the reason I ain't in a hearse. I can say I'm free cause you gave me the key to cut the curse. I can say I'm healed cause your holy hands, they touch my wounds. I'm fully convinced and I'm fully consumed. You are the God of all, so your glory is true. And when they ask me who the one, I'm looking at you.
Who is the one that I turn to? He is the one that will know you. He gives me strength with the power of sounding mine. Who is the one that I turn to? He is the one that will mold you. He gives me strength with the power of sounding mine. Who is the one? Who is the one? Who is the one? He is the one. He is the one. He is the one. Who is the one? Who is the one? Who is the one? He is the one. He is the one. He is the one.
Yeah.
All right then.
Ooh. So I'm agreeing with Simona, who says the contrast between the verse and the chorus sat well. The rhythm in the verse and then the melody and harmonies coming in on the chorus. I did like that difference. And then when the rap came in and you know the clear differences between the verse and the chorus. So I like what you did there. I also like the harmonies. And I think there was somebody else on the track, if I'm not mistaken, was harmonizing. Those harmonies were good harmonies, and I wasn't expecting those. So I do think that those were a nice addition to the song. Also, you did say you're trying to get better at mastering the vocals. I would assume, well, probably mixing and mastering. I would assume. I think, and I would have to know what equipment you use and your like mixing chain and all that stuff. But some of the vocals sounded like the reverb might have been too much, but I think only because of the way that the vocals were processed. Because it has like a characteristics, like if you can tell me what mic you used, it has like these characteristics of kind of like a really trebly sound. And because of that, sometimes when you put a reverb on those kind of vocals, it's just like reverbing that same treble that's too prevalent, and so it makes it even more prevalent. So one thing I can say, depending on what setup you used, is to definitely try to EQ your vocal so that it doesn't sound as heavy in the treble. Plate reverb was a little. That's what I was gonna say. The reverb. And there were some times, especially when like you had that part with the big harmonies where you had like it was like more than just two or whatever. It was a lot of harmonies, and the reverb sounded because like you probably applied it to all those vocals. It just comes on as maybe too strong, too hot. Like it, and I because I used to do this. I used to do this, and this is why I'm saying these are my guesses.
And with you saying that, it reminded me of some of your stuff back in the
Yeah,
day.
I was gonna say, yeah.
Yeah.
I used to do this where I didn't have the best microphone, but it was, okay. But when I would put reverb on my stuff, I would put it thick and I would lay it on there and turn it up because like, oh, it's got to be like super extreme. And then also I would, as a result, because reverb, if you put it on there, it tends to make your vocal quieter since it's like now echoing and whatever. So I would, to compensate, turn the vocal back up again, and then it would just make everything sound loud. You did reverb most of it. Thanks for the advice. That's how we record. So yeah, I would say David has a good point. Trade the reverb for a really light delay. This is a trick that I use sometimes when I want to have some kind of a sense of space in a song, but I don't want to have that much extreme reverb. I'll use a delay to create a different type of space. So, and of course, that also has to be, the mix has to be turned down so that it's not like a whole bunch of vocals coming at you, But it's all about the amounts of these things that you put in and doing it to taste, quote unquote. And this also comes with time. It's something that you learn as you mix more and more songs. This is something that I naturally learned because over time I started realizing like, hey, I'm doing this mix, but my songs still don't sound like these professionals out here. What am I doing wrong? And then I would learn, okay, let's try to use less reverb, but like still have it in there. Just
Look at what Simone said.
I remember someone said, when applying reverb, you need to stop right before you can hear it. That's it. Okay. There's a good way to explain it. Because this is why my reverbs, when I've made my videos, my tutorials, and I show what kind of reverbs I use, particularly Neoverb by Isotope, I only put on like the mix or the wetness, whatever you want to call, whatever it's called in whatever the respective plugin. I'll turn it up no more than, for me, the maximum has been 20%, but that's when I'm really, really extreme. Usually I keep it at 8 to 15% range, probably more so down like 10% reverb. Because you don't really want it to be heard unless you're trying to make someone feel far away or like this vocal is stretching. That's like very intentional. What you want to do is have it to where the effect is there to create that sense of space, but you can't really hear it when you're playing the whole. Like you can hear it, but you can't, if that makes sense. If it wasn't there, you would notice it's not there. But if you know what I mean, it's hard to explain.
Yeah. Okay. Thankfully, we already planned to redo it.
Since I got that new Evo, now great advice. Nice. Oh, you got which Evo? The new, you talking about the long one or the Evo 4? Either way, it's a great interface. But yeah, so just, and then also there are reverbs out there where you can, I think Neoverb is one of them, where you can craft or carve out certain EQs that are affected by the reverb or not affected, or however you want to go about explaining it. But it'll create a sense of a customized reverb that doesn't just blast out everything that you're putting the reverb on, but it'll carve out a specific space for that reverb to exist without affecting other parts of the mix. So that'll be a good way to not have it accentuate that mid-range. And also Neoverb is one that has like an AI feature where you could just tell it to learn your vocal, and then it'll tell you where you should, or it'll craft for you like the EQ curve you need, and then you can choose to like turn up how intense or how little that effect is happening. So it's a really good plugin, and I recommend it to anybody. Evo 4. Yeah, that's the one I'm using right now, actually. Trying to get it right for the longest. Hey, it takes time. It took me years. It took me years to get it right. And it only took me years because I was convinced I had it right to begin with. But I know now I know I didn't. Had I watched the mixing tutorials, I probably would have had it a lot sooner. But it's something that comes with hearing and playing and mixing, and this is just part of the process.
Pushing buttons.
Yeah, it's part of the process of just pushing buttons and turning knobs. Like that first-hand experience is some of the best and most effective. Really dope seeing your mom there, brother. Hey, mama, nothing but love and support. Brother, keep helping us out. Thank you for that.
Good to be here. Good to be here.
Mm-hmm.
This is good.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to go in about 5 minutes, but I wanted to carve out this little time. Speaking of carving out,
I can switch it.
I wanted to carve out this little time to say thank you to all of you that have subscribed, become subscribers over time, and for you being this community, not just for my son, but being this community for one another, because you find people that have like interests and love the same things that you love, and it means something to have that community, to be able to ask your questions and get the help and advice that you need, and you help him as well. And so I'm very, we were talking about my little old YouTube channel earlier, and I'm seeing the benefits even more so as I sit here and watch you guys interact with each other. And I've been in the room before. I've been, incognito in some streams. But I really wanted to say thank you to all of you. I see Sophie's name a lot, obviously Kelly's. And obviously my sons that are watching, and daughter-in-laws. But just thank you so much for the time that you take on your days, and you're in other countries, so it might even be nighttime where you are. But thank you for subscribing to Legend, and you're a fan, and obviously I'm a fan, and let's just keep on going. Keep on going.
We shall. It's interesting somebody asked this. Is your mom from the Caribbean? But
Yeah, you go ahead.
my dad is, he's got that tie. Not from there, like he wasn't born there, but his
grandmother.
Yeah, my dad's grandma is from the Caribbean, however you want to say it.
West Indies.
I got 25 Bentleys in the West Indies. Thank you for staying with us today, Hearts. Thank you for coming in and hanging with us. It was a pleasure to meet you.
Aww.
Great son, we appreciate what he does.
Aww.
We have to support one another.
Yeah.
Get those songs in, guys, for the review. Nothing but value. Thank you for that.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. I'm getting ready to get out of here. And so you guys have at it. I'm going to go get me some grub and hang with my mom and my sister. And I'll probably watch this a little later. So you guys take care. Be good. Be good to each other. All right? All right? Okay. Bye, honey.
Bye.
Okay.
Okie dokes.
Bye.
You want this water?
Yeah, I'm kind of parched.
Okay. He's parched.
Medicine drying my mouth out.
You want me to move this?
Yeah.
Where? This way? I don't know if I can get
I'll move it.
Oh.
I'm gonna try to fix this camera because it's looking crooked, man. Is it crooked?
You have snacks?
No.
Do you like gummies?
Yeah.
That's straight. Now it's. Oh, okay. Very nice. And leave it that way, actually.
1 second.
Okay. Don't forget to.
Oh crap.
Lock it door.
Mm-hmm. This is gonna bug me. High key.
Not straight. Oh man. I need to go lock the door real quick. One quick vote. One real quick, folks. What am I saying? I don't even know what I'm saying. All right. That, and we need to just straighten this out because it's bugging me. Just a little. Just a tad. Almost. That's straight. Got a little bit more space on this side. Ugh. I hate it. So, forgive me, I just don't like this not straight. Bit of maybe kind of. All right, that's good. Good enough. Yeah, that was different. Definitely different. Definitely something I probably will want to do again. Turn this down. So yeah, that's my mom. See what you guys are saying. One more time. With your mom and sister. Oh, that's from my mom. Congrats to the two of you. Thank you. I mean, I know you're talking to Kelly, but thank you. Let me move this microphone. Like so. All right. There we go. How we doing? So that was a good submission. Thank you for that one. That was, who was that? That was Drew. We didn't get him in here, so I don't have oh, there we go. Actually, oh, okay, never mind, had to refresh. We got to skip the line here. Thank you for that. So this is gonna be Brandon, and you just sent in maybe like 15 minutes ago, 20 minutes ago. So I will put this on pause, and I'm gonna play Brandon's song. Hopefully you're still in here. Let's do it.
Empathy for a black man. Y'all better wake up, they killing us. They ain't dying, we are. Where's the empathy for a black man? Basketball or rap, no, I'm shooting it back. Can't picture me more than that, man. Oh, my mama, I'm really that man. Where's the empathy for a black man?
I like the
Ain't no
energy of
empathy
this.
for a black man. Broke down on my last limb. All fours in the jack stand. All pause when the forecast in. 10:15, quarterback pitch. Tell me where to begin. My pen, Peyton, Picasso, painting possible potholes. Stay out that lane. Crashing to make my way. Death derby, bourbon thirsty. You heard me. Jackie joined the Kersey. Running from all my problems. Too many to solve them. I ain't getting involved, rarely problems get solved. I'm barely fighting them off, they nailing me to that cross. Bronze skin with that wool head full, and stubborn as all these 4-foot mules, I'd forfeit too. Quitting's never an option, mad cause they can't stop him, mad because they not him. This COVID cough in that chest, phlegm, just him, justice serve, it just gets blurred. Like why won't nobody help him, them camera apps prevailing, common act of a felon. No can do, that'd be 3 strikes and then I'm through. What can I do? All I heard was do, do, do. Come on, fool. Couple screams from the pavement, tire screeching that payment due. Paid in full, let them simmer down in that red rum stew. Curfew lavender scenery, sunsets over Greek town too. In a parking structure with direct view, secret dialect of a 2-man crew. One on the lookout, I walk that roof, spot the blind spot. No plain view, silencer clockwise screwed. Headshot 2, dead stop move, dead stop do. Deadlock, dead doc, dead guy, dead not, dead lie. Got the point across, did not. Watch over me as I head out. Sympathy though I'm blessed now. Empathy for a black man. Basketball or rap, no, I'm shooting that back. Can't picture me more than that, man. Oh, my mama, I'm really that man. Where's the empathy for a black man? Ain't no empathy for a black man.
Yo, okay. Not gonna lie, you came with some straight up bars with this song. I thoroughly enjoyed the messaging of this song. First of all, I mean, it was pretty obvious what the messaging was. Where's the empathy for a black man? I mean, all our lives, you know, black men have felt like this, but I think me most recently, I felt this way. For different reasons, but I can appreciate, you know, when somebody tells this in a creative way, also tells this or keeps this energy in this type of song, because it's heard and understood with, at least in this song, with more bravado and tone. And that I appreciate a lot about this song. I can tell you meant every word that you said. You weren't just, you know, trying to write a rap that sounded cool, or, you know, oh, I got a message and like it's just to, you know what I mean? Some people do this stuff. They write lyrics like this just to like check the box of, look, I did a conscious song. This is more so coming from like realness. So I appreciated that. I appreciated the lyrical content. I loved your flow, your cadence, and how you presented yourself and the message in this song. I think everything was perfectly done in terms of that, in terms of the delivery, how it was written. It was just so interwoven and flowed it flowed effortlessly. And that I really enjoyed. I think the only thing I would say is maybe, let me listen again.
Oh, my mama, I'm really that man. Where's the empathy for a black man? Ain't no empathy for a black man. Broke down on my last limb. All fours in the jack.
I like how clear the vocals sound. So I'm not going to say that you should process them differently. I think some people prefer this kind of, it's not that it sounds like it's coming out of a radio, but it does have a little bit more of that slight boxy, trebly tone to it. It's not bad. It's just slight. And I think because I have my headphones turned up a lot more on here, it probably sounds more extreme. Because this interface does do that with a lot of songs, even professional songs. What I was gonna say was, I think to give the vocals a little bit more character outside of what you already gave in the delivery, some of these parts you could maybe try adding a delay. So, like for instance, towards the empathy for a black man, black man, black man, Batman, just only on certain parts, because there's like these blank spaces, and it's not bad that there's blank spaces there. Some songs you want those spaces to be there to create that sense of like a breathing point for the listener, right? But even in those points, you can have remnants of a vocal. So,
Empathy for a black man. Y'all better wake up, they killing us.
like you have something right there, which is cool.
They ain't dying, we are. Where's the empathy for a black man? Basketball or rap? No, I'm shooting it back. Can't picture me more than that, man. Oh, my mama, I'm really that man. Where's the empathy for a black man?
I think, honestly, something like that would sound really good with a song like this. So you could try it, you could not try it. You don't have to listen to what I'm saying, but I honestly do think that would be a good addition to this song, like a delay on certain parts, especially when you have those big pauses.
Ain't no empathy. This COVID cough in that chest, phlegm, just him, justice serve, it just gets blurred. Like, why won't nobody help him? Them camera apps prevalent, common act of a felon.
I put reverb. Let me go back to the chat. Let me see what you said. Bro, I over appreciate you. This song was so easy for me to create because I meant this from the bottom of my heart. It's raw, honest, and brutal, and what I'm proud to bring to hip hop. I can tell, man. I can tell, and I think anybody listening to this can tell. So I'm glad I was right in saying that. Otherwise, you would have been a very good actor, a very good, a very good fraudster. But okay, let's see. You said I put reverb in that place and an echo. This one's already. Oh, sorry. Okay. So I mean, if anything, don't take this as like what you could do to this song, but just think about the next songs that you work on. Think about these different ways to process this vocal. And the reason I say this is because it also, how I spoke in my last video, tells the story of the song in this way. This kind of thing you want to linger in people's minds. So when I'm mastering, like let's say I wrote this song and I recorded it, whatever. When I would be mixing it, I would be thinking, I want to put something here because I want this message to linger. It's already lingering in people's minds. I guarantee you it is. It's lingering in mine. But to just kind of give it more so of that linger, you can put that delay on there. And that way it's like, no matter if you don't say anything, the vocal is still like coming out to haunt the person, the listener, or to just linger in the background, like, where's the sympathy for a black man, black. Like, it's just another reason to think about why you would add that effect. And this is not to say that you have to put it on every vocal like this, or that you have to think this way about every single song. It's just, I like to get people thinking of why they would put certain plugins in certain areas, why they would put a reverb here, why they would put a delay here. What does it do for the feeling of the song? Aside from making it sound cohesive and making stuff sit right in the mix, blah, 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 the typical stuff that we know, how can we think about it in terms of like the feeling that it gives and the intuition behind it, and the intentions behind those certain parts.
No can do, that'd be 3 strikes and then I'm through. What can I do? All I heard was do. Come on, fool.
Like right there would have been dope, because I love how you put that how you wrote that part. The do. That would have, not saying that would have been, but it'd be a good part to put like some sound effect, like some kind of crashing, not car crash, but like some kind of hit, just to give another element to the song. Because we know your vocals are there, and we know that this is what the song sounds like so far. But just introducing these little treats, right? I don't know how else to refer to them because to me, it's just like a new thing has come up. So, wow, I'm paying attention again, or my attention has been reset, or however you want to look at it. It's just different ways to make a song switch up in the course of the song. It doesn't always have to be that the beat changes or that the vocals change, like melodically, or even that the rhythms change, but just something that. And you did it here, just in a different way. But I would say sometimes it's even good to put on like another, like to layer different things, to not just stop at a vocal change or whatever, but you can even layer these different effects. So these are just observations rather than you should do this. You know what I mean? So I do want to be clear about that. But I do love this song, and I love how you just came with it from the get go. And I love how crispy this vocal sound. This vocal sounds, sorry. Learning as I go and everything. Hey, you're speaking to someone who's in the same boat. I do everything myself as well. And that's the only way to go is learn as you go. To this day, I'm still mixing and mastering all my stuff. And I've been doing this since 1997. So I know the journey, and I know how difficult at times it can be, and also how a lot of this stuff takes time to not only figure out, but to also know how you want to approach it, rather than just listening to the guy on YouTube or this tutorial over here that tells you how to do things. It's taking what you can get from other people, but also, most importantly, applying how you want to approach the vocals or process the vocals and things like that. So 100%, I get it, and I'm right there with you. Even the do. Yeah, you said it too. Yeah, everything on my own now. That's crazy. But I feel like that's how a lot of us are these days, especially with costs rising and stuff. Like, we got to figure out how to be self-sufficient to an extent, you know. Um, I will speak from personal experience. It's not good to be self-sufficient once you're like at a certain level. It gets to be too much. But when you can manage it, 100,000,000% do it yourself. When you can manage it, 100,000,000% do it yourself. I feel like Dr. Umar repeating myself. Family. We all wear a lot of hats these days, forcing us to, in a way, yeah, basically. Unfortunately and fortunately, because it's good that we learn the knowledge, we get the knowledge, but it's also bad that we're kind of forced to do that because things aren't optimized for anything else these days. At least not monetarily. Is Andy in here? Is there an Andy? You submitted 3 songs yesterday. So I want to make sure I check and see if you're in here. I'm not going to do all 3, but if you're in here, I'll do 1. Is there an Andy in the house? Andy Milanakis. Just kidding. Not Andy Milanakis. What's up, Nick? I just saw your comment. Now more than ever, I can relate to this song. That's what Anthony said. Yeah, dude. Me too, honestly. I can do a feature with this artist. Hey, as you guys know, in this chat, in this live stream, I am all about people getting collaborations. There have been at least 3 or 4 songs that have come as collaborations, people just talking to each other in the chat and saying, hey, I want to collab. So if you feel it, make sure you at that person, because we've had some hits made in this live stream before, many times. So I'm a feeder program. You can get creative when you're doing it all yourself. That's another thing. Like when you're doing it yourself, you don't have to depend on like somebody else's opinion on like how to do something. There's a good thing and a bad thing about collaboration. It's like one thing is somebody's helping you to do something you might not know how to do, or they're better at it, or they take it from another standpoint, which is a good thing to think outside your own box. The bad part is when you collab, you also have to think about how this other person feels, because if they don't like the song and only you like it, then it's not really a fun collab, is it? So there's pluses and minuses to collaborations, but there's a time to work by yourself and a time to work with other people. And, you know, working by yourself definitely is also fun because you can do whatever you want to do and whatever makes you happy. Unless you work with somebody that just vibes with you and everything you do and you guys think the same. That's another cool thing. I'm not seeing an Andy, so I'm going to archive all your stuff. Let me make sure I'm not archiving any important orders. Music review and a free mixing and mastering quote. So let me fulfill this then. And what is this? Oh, my spring. Oh, so you only submitted 1 song. Okay. Next up is gonna be. Let me check something. Or this is sympathy for a black man. Black man. See how catchy that is? All right. We're just gonna go in order because I don't have that many submissions. So we have Simona next. Work, Simona. Every time I see this name, like Bangalore, I think of Apex, because in Apex Legends, the game, there is a character named Bangalore. And she shoots like smoke out of her little smoke gun. I can't wait to play Apex when I go home. But okay, let's do this.
The person you're calling is busy, or in other words, is going through a phase and doesn't want to talk to you right now. Please don't leave a message after the beep.
I guess it's that time again. Don't care enough to play pretend that I'm a social butterfly, but it ain't a social man. I'm giving you enough of my. I'm tired of baseline, voice close, same old combo. Baseline, voice close, same old combo. I'm sorry to admit it, I'll be done in just a minute. Let's skip it.
Rush home sometime with all of this.
Oh snap, oh snap, oh snap. I'm there.
What am I doing here?
It's good, I'm crowded up in here. I don't really mean I'm this rude. Ain't I social enough for you? Ain't I? Well, everything's moving slow, too fast. I feel my roasted glass. I find that reality. Oh, and I'm coming up on texting. I'm in no position to kiss my speaking or listen. Well, now you know, so don't start now. I'm doing it, don't wanna explain it. Can't help it, control it. Just gotta deal with it. You guys are spiraling
think that's it. It's got like another. Oh yeah, it's just like silence. Okay. I was gonna say there is quite some character in that voice, and I like when people can perform their vocals to their song with a bit of vocal character. Um, Obviously, when somebody's doing it like too much, it's a little jarring. Like when Britney Spears was doing a British accent for a while, that kind of weirded me out, but it's okay. Sometimes it's totally fine, but I like your kind of character in your vocal. I think it's very fitting for the type of song that you made here, and the song is something that's upbeat. Again, fun time downtown. This is like one of those get in the car. We're going. No, I don't want to say we're going shopping, but we're going like partying. You know, it's a very fun song. Uh, it reminded me of something of that nature. I also like the harmonies and like the certain parts in the song where you had these breaks, these pauses, and where the beat would stop. These kinds of things are also things that I uh, always try to teach people how to do in moderation, of course, because you don't want to like throw all your tricks in the bag in one song. But I think you tastefully did it in this song where you had these beat drops and times where it would pause and stop and then continue back up. Like I loved that aspect of the song because again, that is a part of the not just vocal storytelling, but the musical storytelling that goes on in a song. And the harmonies itself as well sounded nice too. I do think that some parts of this song can benefit from maybe some reverb, not too much, but just enough that it's apparent, because I think the vocal sounds. I think.
I've been here, I don't really mean to be this rude. Ain't I social? Cause I'm so done with this. Oh, rusty moon swings. No way I'm knowing when you're gonna start spell.
It just sounds like it doesn't have enough character in terms of the sound of the vocal. Not necessarily you as the performer, because that's there, but the sound of the vocal needs. I won't say needs. The sound of the vocal, I would have liked to have more character. By way of a reverb, like I talked about before, probably no more than 10% or 10 whatever wetness, whatever it is going to be in your plugin that you use of your choice. Just like a minimal amount of reverb or a moderate amount of reverb in some places. Just the lead vocal, I would say, if you don't want it to be too extreme, because also I don't want those harmonies to be bogged down by tons of verb, like I talked about before. But I do think it would benefit from some light reverb, especially when the verses are going on. Like it doesn't have to sound like you're singing in a church or a hall, like a long hall or anything. It could be like one of those tight garage reverbs where you're in a small room or something. I think that would sound pretty nice on these vocals. See, I think I heard a little bit something there. A little bit of something there. And that was a really, really tight reverb. It was a really close one. Like especially that part. That stuff like that, because it sounds vocally dry, I'm not getting as much energy as I could get had it had some other kind of processing done to the vocal. It doesn't have to be a reverb, but that's just like the most common thing to put on like a singing vocal. So that's what I would suggest first and foremost. But I'm trying to think how else. I'm trying to go in my plugin list in my head and what else I would add to it. Because like on those, what you could do is like put it on the background vocals. So then when that lead vocal does come in, you have that difference of like a bigger vocal, lead vocal, which is more dry than the rest of the vocals. And then more stacked vocals sounds more bigger, lead vocals more dry. Or you can do the inverse, where your lead vocal has the reverb and then your background vocals don't, but they're still kind of turned down so that they're serving that background role. Those are two different ways to look at it that you could potentially try. There's no right or wrong way. Just suggestions. And I would say also that the music is coming on stronger than the vocals are. I feel like they're competing for the first place trophy. They're competing for center stage, and it should be the vocals that occupy center stage. So I'm trying to.
What am I doing here? It's getting so crowded up in here. I don't really mean to be this rude. Ain't I social enough for you? Well, ain't I? 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 What am I doing here? It's getting so crowded up in here. I don't really mean to be this rude. Ain't I social? 'Cause I'm so done with this.
Yeah, first of all, I just probably would turn the music down just a tad, so that the vocals can occupy more of the listener's eardrums. Because right now, I think, yeah, the music is definitely too loud. And then to compensate for if the music does sound too low when you turn it down in comparison with the vocals, that's where mastering would come into play. Of course, not just turning down the instrumental is not the only way to fix a problem like that. It's much more nuanced, and it depends on your chain and all that stuff that you use in your song. And I can't be sure, how you would fix that thing unless I knew all the stuff that you were doing with the vocals and the music. But volume is definitely one thing. You can automate certain parts of the vocals to be louder in certain parts where there's more going on musically and not enough vocal presence there. Compressors are also a good way to bring vocals higher up in the mix. You can also use dynamic compressors that will compress only certain parts of a vocal so that it's not being muddied up by other parts of the music. These I'm not as familiar with using because I'm not gonna lie, I'm a very basic like mixer type person. I don't like to do things that require too much energy because I already lag in putting my own music out. So dynamic compressors sound like much more work. But if you want to look into that, that's something that you can try. But even a vocal writer could be useful in this case. Otherwise, it's definitely an EQ thing. And you would have to carve out the proper spaces. What's a good plugin to use that can help you in this, and one that I use myself, is Neutron by Isotope. I don't know if you use it or if you have it. There's other plugins that do the same. I don't know how much they cost, so I can't really say, but there are some plugins out there that basically scan the audio. So basically you put it on your vocal, you put it on all your music, then you say what you want to be the focus of the track, let's say your vocal, and then you just hit the learn button or assist or whatever it is, and then Neutron will scan everything and it'll adjust not only the vocal chain on itself, it'll make a custom chain for you, but also adjust some of the EQ, different things like that, the mixing, to tell you and show you how you can make that vocal pop to the forefront. So that is one plugin you can use also. I do need to purchase the new version of that because my license ran out. So Sad story for me. But yeah, I just think that the vocals are being drowned out by the vocals sometimes. What? I think that the vocals are being drowned out by the music sometimes. Sorry. But yeah. Thank you for that submission. I like the idea overall though. Sometimes I feel like this is how I record my YouTube videos. Like when I be recording and I say stuff that sounds so dumb, the vocals are being overpowered by the vocals. I'm like, wait a minute, that didn't make sense. And sometimes I just flat out leave it in the video because I don't feel like editing it out. And I just look like an idiot. Okay, so Brandon did a paid submission. We shall hit up Brandon first. Then I'll come to the email and do this one. By, was it 44 by 2? I think that's how you say your name. Yeah, I hope that makes sense. Reverb on background vocals. In terms of reverb, either lead vocals or dry. Oh, you're just like, yeah. You're just kind of summing up. So yeah, you could reverb on background vocals or on the main vocal. Just like whichever one you put the reverb on, have the other have not as much or none. That way you can have that contrast. Contrast is a big important thing in music, and it's what helps things to stand out. You know, most people make the mistake of just wanting to turn everything up. And not saying this is you, but in my beginning and a lot of other people's mixing journeys, they just turn everything up hoping that, oh, if I turn it all up, it's gonna whatever. But you need some stuff to be quieter or more so like reserved, and some of it to be louder or more punchy. And when you have that contrast, that's where you get that feeling of like different things occupying different spaces in the mix, in the soundscape. Super dope indeed. Yeah, I see you submitted another one. So I'm about to do that again with this one you just sent in. And then I shall do the email and we'll go from there.
Test. Test. 40. Turn the volume up a little bit more.
I'm turning the volume up.
Let's go. Ready, set, go. Time and the flow. Time and time again. Vicodin, Heineken, overdose. Rhyming the Holy Ghost. Spiritual, lyrical, holy road. Slow, no. Another globe on the road. Polka nose. Destination, no one knows. Vacation and open toes. Feel this breeze. Smell this weed. We cooking. Probably why they keep looking. Fuck it. 2P's bucket. This beat ruckus. Pocket. None ya. Rockets. Thunder. Hope you brought that umbrella. They ain't tell ya I am him. Numero uno. Big guy sumo. Your majesty casually. You know. Randomly, frantically panicking. Can't handle him, kiddo. Stuck in the spiritual. You and the widow. Kinfolk gather amongst his grave. Damn, that boy was brave. That's all they could say. Vest on, Kevlar, Teflon prayers. Revron, roaches. Stepped on, coaching these motherfuckers till they death. Man, how many more steps left? Walking these niggas down. Years, months, weeks, hours now. This hours now undisputed. My Manny Pacquiao niggas to sleep for playing with me. May he weather this beating. Nigga, I'm TBE. And you niggas is to be eaten. Feast, bon appetit. Beast, lion, tiger, big league minors, bases covered, home run sliders, spritz meets fire, hide those lighters, mask on, pack on, yes, oxygen is required, hazmat attire, frying, flatline dying, flashback saving, private Ryan, opening scene, iconic, seems ironic, we'd had this in common, you can't touch them, till Hammer bury they loved ones, 30 for 30, are we done yet?
Okay. Again, you have a good sense of flow and direction when you flow. I really appreciate, again, your cadence, your songwriting ability. So hats off to you, first of all, again, for another hit. In terms of critiquing, I would say you can try warming this vocal up a bit, because it is on the brighter side. It is on the, I hear more of the highs and the mids than anything on the low end. And that's not to say that your vocals need to have a low end, especially when your song has so much bass in it. So that's already, the song as a whole is already occupying that space, and it's already kind of giving the listener what they need. However, this is just my personal listening preference. Sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes I prefer a vocal that is, and I think I said this in my last video, but for my raps, I prefer them to be more warm. And by that, I mean the low end is a little bit more present, not to an extent to where it's like you hear like a rumble on the mic and all that stuff, but it's less sharp, because the vocals that you have are really sharp. Not to say that that's a bad thing, because at least in this case, I can hear every word, and even in your last song, I could hear every word that you're saying nice and clear. Everything is nice and clear, and it's crispy is the word. That's why sharp, crispy, it's like the same thing to me. But there are times where, me personally, something can feel too sharp or over sharpened. And I'm not saying you over sharpen the vocals here, but I want to see how it would sound if the vocal had more warmth to it. So more of the lower end, more of the, I don't know if you did an EQ to where you carved out the low end entirely. If you did, I would say maybe dial it back a bit and see how that sounds. If you didn't, I would say try to boost the low end, just a smidge. With EQ, you never want to do these crazy extremes and stuff, but just everything on the left-hand side, try to boost that a bit. You could even use a plugin like One Knob. Is it Fatter? One Knob Fatter, I believe, is used for bass. But it's by Waves plugins. And that can help do that with literally just turning one knob. It's the easiest plugin in the world. That's why I like it. Also, you could just do it on your EQ thing and just click on that side and drag up the low end. And I would lessen, maybe do like a low pass filter and carve off a bit of the highs. Not an extreme amount, just enough to where it's not completely balanced, like highs and lows are all on the same whatever, but that it's teetering a little bit more. Because and this is fine, it's like your vocal is like this, and right now it's teetering. These are the highs and these are the lows, so you hear no lows in your vocal, and the highs are turned way up. So if you boost the low end just a tad and you carved out some of the highs just a tad, it's like you're equalizing it just a little bit so that it's still uneven. You still get that brightness that you want, but it's not as lacking in the low end. And that might be, it might be worth listening to. I don't know. But I want to hear how that would sound. So that's something that you could try. I don't think I would put, at least with the song as it is, if this is how short it's going to be, I'm totally fine with the song not having any kind of crazy delays and reverbs and anything else. It doesn't need much when it's a shorter song, I feel, especially this kind of song. But I would just say the vocal EQ is the thing that I would focus on for this. And carving the higher frequency range out a bit, and the boosting the low end a smidge. Let me listen again.
Weed, we cooking. Probably why they keep looking. Fuck it.
Because right now it sounds really thin. It sounds really, really thin.
2 piece bucket, this beat ruckus, pocket, none ya, rockets, thunder. Hope you brought that umbrella. They ain't tell ya I am him. Numero uno, big guy sumo.
And when it sounds thin, it means like, yeah, the vocal's there and I can hear everything. So when I say it's not present, I don't mean it at this time. I don't mean it in the way that I usually mean it, like, oh, I can't hear it. But when I say not present, I just mean like the sound is too thin and it's not serving its full like sound profile, the potential of its sound presence. I'm just making up words because I don't know what else to call these things. But I just feel like it's lacking, and because of that lack, it feels very thin. So I would just give it a boost in the low end, and if you have to, carve out a little bit of the highs, and maybe if that doesn't fully do it, sometimes what I also do is I take a big portion of the mid range and I'll just do like one of the big like general curves in the mid, and I'll just bring that up ever so slightly.
Majesty casually, you know, randomly, frantically panicking, can't handle it, kiddo. Stuck in the spiritual, you and the widow, kinfolk.
Other than that, I think that would be my only thing, because I love how the song is written. I love the beat of the song. I would maybe turn the music up just a tad, in addition, because right now it is hitting. Not gonna lie, it's still hitting, and the bass is there, the punchiness is there, all that stuff is there. Maybe it's not mastered. So instead of just turning the beat up, what you would do is after you do the EQ, you would master the song, and that will do the boosting of the music for you. Even if that is just throwing it into Lander, which is something that I do. But yeah, I think that would be pretty much all I would have to say on the critique of that one. That tiny part you played now just sounded so slick. You sound like, legit. You do sound like Pusha T. Legit.
Gather amongst his grave. Damn, that boy was brave. That's all they could say.
I have to agree. He's Ableton Live. I just checked. It's at 6. You guys are talking about something. 1.5 to 3 dB works for me. See, y'all giving each other advice. I like that. Natural bass of the voice, even just a little more. But yeah, that's the general idea. I think what everyone's saying. Yeah. I'm glad I'm not crazy. Is 44 still in here? (44x2 TV). I'm assuming that's you. All right, let's do your song next. I'm gonna do this. And then, so don't submit any more, guys. These are gonna be my last 3. I would go for another hour, but I had a bit of a morning, and I had to take some meds, and it has me feeling a little more. The side effect is drowsiness. I'm not saying I'm like sleepy, but I'm just feeling like low energy, and I don't want that to like reflect too much. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna do. Yeah, I'll just get started on it.
Hey, that probably Taker.
Hey, that's probably Ocho. Yeah, this 88 though. I'm trying to think who you remind me of.
Nice. That's Timbaland, right? I'm just kidding.
One hand on her drink, other hand on my pipe. And she got that look in her eyes like she wanna fuck on that. Let's get out of here, come on girl, let's go. Vamos a salir de aquí. One hand on her drink, other hand on my pipe. And she got that look in her eyes like she wanna fuck on that. Let's get out of here, come on girl, let's go. Vamos a salir de aquí. If you like it now, it's gonna get better. You gon' get wetter. That is my promise. I put that on Thomas Edison, cause we gon' get lit. First show me that thing that you do with your clit when you at the crib and nobody looking. Mírame, tengo algo que decir. Ven conmigo, come with me. Ven conmigo, let's just leave. Hope you're not scared to leave. Don't be scared of me. I got nothing but love. And I wanna share it tonight, but don't ask for too much.
Oh, I'm guessing that's it.
Vamos a salir de aquí.
Oh, okay.
One hand on her drink, other hand
Forced
on my
again. It's an unfinished song, so.
and she got that look in her eyes like she wanna fuck on that. Let's get out of here, come on girl, let's go. Vamos a salir de aquí.
Excuse me. Ooh. Okay. So
And she got that look in her eyes like she wanna fuck on that. Let's get out of here, come on girl, let's go. Vamos a salir de aquí. If you like it now, it's gonna get better.
So on the this is okay. I'll tell you what I would do on this song. The average thing I would do would be, because you have singing and you have rapping, and it's like more like melodic rapping, sort of, but more in the singing realm. But because you have these two different dynamics, you want to have two different sounds naturally, at least for me. So I would say for the singing vocals, the chorus, have a reverb. I see you have a delay on here. It's either a delay or you're literally recording another vocal of you doing the same thing. Either way, delay, reverb, not an extreme reverb, but something that's apparent, you know? So maybe 15% wetness, 10, 15. It could be like a chamber might be too much. Maybe like a hall or like a medium-sized room, something like that. And for the rap, I would have that more dry, no reverb, or very, very, very minimal reverb. If you watch my last video, I know I keep talking about my last video, but it's actually good that I put it out because it seems to be coming in handy. So I talked about how I did my raps in that video and how it doesn't necessarily have no reverb on there, but the reverb is turned almost all the way down. It's like turned up that much because I do want to give it some level of presence without it sounding like we're in a tunnel or we're on a mountain somewhere, like, you know, or a big cathedral. So I would do that for the raps so that you have these two dynamics. One is more dry, one is more dramatic and like open and whatever. And I would even go as far to put, if you don't want to have an extreme amount of this, it's fine, but some auto-tune on there. Doesn't have to be extreme. Like I said, you can do a light amount, a very light amount, to where like, it's not saying that you're not hitting the notes, because you are, but it would just make it sound even more clean than it does now. It would make those notes be even more so precise. And that's even in the lighter side of autotune. Whether you use autotune or Onterra's Waves Tune, or you use the pitch correction in GarageBand or Logic or whatever, just the light amount can be enough. This is something that Drake does. Sometimes he does use the extreme amounts, but I noticed on some of his other songs where he wants to seem like he's like just singing a whole, like, you know, it's just him. You can tell that there's still, or most musicians can tell, that there's still a tiny, tiny, tiny amount of tuning on his vocal, but it's just enough to make it sound natural and still hit all those notes without sound like a robot. I would do that for this vocal too, on the chorus, because you still want to have that like that kind of swing up that you do. You still want that, and with extreme auto tune, you're not gonna have that. You're gonna have something that sounds more robotic, like it's gonna sound like a printer or something like that. So a light amount of auto tune.
It's gonna get better. You gon' get wetter. You gon' get wetter. That is my promise. That is my promise. I put that on Thomas Edison, cause we gon' get lit. First, show me that thing that you do with your clit when you at the crib
I
and
think
nobody
you do have auto tune on this vocal. Yeah. You do, yeah.
Tengo algo que decir. Ven conmigo, come with me. Hey, that's probably Ocho. Yeah, this 88 though. I'm trying to think who you remind me of.
What you can also do, because I want the vocal to have a little bit more characterization to it. Even if you put, because you have delays on there, you have tuning on there. I want it to have some other kind of like pizzazz. So there's a few plugins that can do this, whether it's like an Abbey Road vinyl that adds a little bit of grit, texture to your voice. Or you can use like a saturator plugin that saturates your vocal and adds color to your vocal. Another one that I used to put on all my vocals when I actually had it was Baby Audio VHS, Super VHS, I think is what it's called. And that is a very simple plugin, but it adds just like this retro crystallized I don't know how to explain it, but it gives you width, some compression with the heat, and warmth, because that's what heat also does. And there's like a button in the middle called like a magic button that just makes it sound even more retro. But there's so many different plugins you can try, but just giving your vocal some character with some kind of plugin of that nature, I think would be beneficial, like texturizing your vocal so that it doesn't just sound like you're recording in a microphone and all you did was put on like a verb and a delay. You got to think about the texture of the voice too. The color, quote unquote, of the voice. So that's another thing I would suggest. Now, if you don't have anything like that, I mean, it's a different story, but it needs some kind of something to characterize more so than just what a reverb and a delay can do, because they can only do so much.
Let's get out of here, come on girl, let's go. Vamos a aquí. One hand on her drink.
CLA 2A compressor also is a good compressor because it compresses your vocal, obviously, but in its compression, it adds a bit of warmth and a warm tone to your voice. So that might be an option too. There's more plugins that can do that also, but that's the one that I use the most. So you might want to think about that as well. Beat is crazy, yes. How much for a full song review? That's on the screen. And if you just go to the website, it tells you. legends.com/music review. $25 or $50. One of your videos from maybe 2021, you played a song that I think sampled Phil Collins. I can't remember the song. So, do you have any idea what I'm talking about? Phil Collins. Are you talking about the drums? The drum sample? Phil Collins. That I made? Definitely some overlooked advice. I agree. Bro, what is a snare? Please explain what a snare kick 808. I mean, you can go to chatgpt.openai.com and ask it these questions. These are very simple. Google actually can tell you. Look, what is a snare? A snare is a percussion instrument that produces a sharp staccato sound when the head is struck with a drumstick. There you go. Boom. What is a kick? In music. A kick, also called a bass drum, is an acoustic kick struck by a pedal with a beater attached. There you go. What is an 808? I'm just showing you how easy it is to search this stuff. I don't know why I'm being asked, but 808s are a type of electronic percussion sample that originates from the Roland TR-808 drum machine. There you go. Answered your questions. Cool stuff. Just use Google. It's not that hard. Or, you know, when you're asking me these questions, just think of a drum kit. Kick is the thing that boom, boom. The snare is a clap. Boom. The thing that your drumstick hits. What is sound? Oh, that was Kelly that said that. I'm like, who do I have to block? It was one of my songs. But are you talking? What's the Phil Collins sample? Was it a drum sample from Phil Collins? I don't even know any Phil Collins songs. Unless you're talking about, what's that song? Oh no, that's Paul Simon. I'm thinking. Yeah, I have no idea what song you're talking about. Phil Collins. I don't remember sampling Phil Collins. Angel Eyes. My song was called Angel Eye. I have a song called Angel in a Blue Dress. And I have another song called I don't think I have anything with eyes in it. Angels and Devils. Yeah. But that definitely was not a sample. Angels and Devils was not a sample. Angel in a Blue Dress did. No, I don't even think that had a sample in it. It was inspired by Kanye's Devil in a Red Dress. Angel in a blue dress, Devil in a red dress. But the guy that produced that, he produced it himself. Actually, no, it does have a sample in it. It's got that high vocal in there. Playing some stuff you've done with Tone. Oh, see, I don't remember any of the names of the songs I've sampled. That's a terrible thing to ask me. I just remember sounds. I don't remember names of songs. Usually when I sample, I don't keep track. It's a sad thing, I know. But I usually don't keep track of the names of these songs. Because I'm too caught up in the creation. All right, so thank you for that submission. Let's see something here. All right, this will be the last one. I'm gonna do Nick, your last song that you just sent in. And then, because my head's starting to hurt now, so.
Altier. Every day I wake up and I'm sick of this routine.
That's the truth.
Trying to find my happiness, man. This shit is a scheme.
I like the lyrics.
Don't know where to go. Guess I'll leave it up to fate. I just hope that I can make it up. I'm not too late. But can we keep this thing low-key? 'Cause right now that's all I need. Don't be shy, girl, pass the weed. And after that I might give you some heat. We'll see. Smoke some with me. Going to school, yo. This shit feels like a trap.
This is the vibe.
I thought I already ran through all of these laps. You got no time for me. Only the wealthy. So I spend more time on me. I just hope that you can see. But can we keep this thing low-key? 'Cause right now that's all I need. Don't be shy, girl, pass the weed. And after that I might give you some. Sometimes
Out on SoundCloud.
we find ourselves in outer
What's
space.
the name of the song?
Anyone with you never seems too far away. Sometimes we find ourselves in outer space. Anyone with you never seems too far away. But can we keep this thing low-key? 'Cause right now that's all I need. Don't be shy, girl, pass the weed. And after that I might give you some
Or you can send it to my
heat.
email.
We'll
with me.
Actually, oh no, never mind. Okay, that actually was a nice, smooth, calming vibe, and I think that was perfect for my the stream ender because that's the mood I'm feeling right now. If I could, I would for sure do exactly what you just said in that song, but I currently cannot. Um, yeah. So what artist name and what's the name of the song that I search? And I'll link it in the chat. Let's go like this. So that song, um, I actually liked the way that the vocals sounded. I liked how simple the song was. It didn't feel like it went on forever, even though it was almost a 4-minute song. It felt short, and that's, I would say, a good thing because you want to keep people kind of wanting more. You definitely don't want to drag it on, but you don't want to make it too short either. I felt like that is the perfect song to spark up to for sure. Because it did feel spacious. The way that you process the vocals matched that as well, and just how simple your vocals were. There weren't and didn't need to be like tons of parts and intricacies and all that. Sometimes simple or less is more. And with how basic the beat was, and I don't mean basic in a bad way, I just mean how simple it was, I think the vocals perfectly match that. And the whole point of it is not to have like this intricate work of art, even though it is a work of art. It's more so, it's more so to cultivate an atmosphere of token, toke up. And I think you achieved that. So I like how moody it sounded, and I appreciate that processing, the way you processed and wrote it, and the way that it was produced, if you produced it as well. It was 3 minutes and 47 seconds. Nickel. All right, let me go like this. See if I can find you. That didn't come up on SoundCloud. Was that a misspelling? Yeah, this name didn't come up. Send the link there. Just send me the link like directly to the song to that email. Oh, I found you. Never mind, I found you. The song's called Low Key. Wonder why it didn't come up the first time. Here you guys go. I will link it right now. This was the song we just played. Bada bing, bada boom. Yeah. Somebody said, "This is beautiful." WTF? Good song. I wanted to make a song I can get high. That was me when I made Wick Indeed. Well, that song was made for several reasons. But yeah. So that is the song link there. I'm sorry I did not get to everyone. And I'm actually sorry that I did not stream longer today. Yeah, as I said before, I am developing a little tiny headache, but I know if I keep staring at screens, or at least this close of a screen, I am going to get a more bigger headache. But it's more so to do with, I'm also feeling a little drowsy. One of the effects of the thing I took this morning was drowsiness. And it's not that I feel like sleeping, because it's a very low dosage of what I took today. However, I am just feeling kind of like yeah. Oh, good, Jared. I know. We'll see if I actually do this coming Saturday. Because I know I skipped. I was like 3 weeks off. I probably won't, to be honest. But if I, for some reason, feel like a superhuman, I definitely will let you know. But if not, definitely I will be going. What is it? Dang, that's gonna be April 1st. April Fool's is next week. Well, I guess I just April Fool's you guys. I'll definitely stream on the 8th. I'll definitely stream on the 8th. So, see, I appreciate you guys for understanding, for real. It means a lot. It really does. Sometimes I make up my own, you know, what do they call it? I make up my own pressures when they're not really there. So that's been something I've been trying to get better at. Like, if you guys are cool with it, then I'm cool with it. And I should be cool with it either way, because it's my body, my choice. Yeah, all about taking care of yourself, you know? I'm trying to get better with that. Not trying to. I am getting better with that. But also, I got a lot of work to do. So, I'm also, hopefully, maybe, I don't know, planning on dropping another song this Friday. It's really late because I have not even finished it. Which means I haven't distributed it 2 to 4 weeks in advance. Ugh, which sucks, but we'll see. I really do want to put out a song this next Friday, because it's a special day. Special announcement. Actually, it's not special. I already told you guys, but I haven't told the channel about the developing mental state. So, yeah, it'll be interesting. And I have a song about it. It's not done, which is very fitting. Man. Yeah, I appreciate that. Kelly said it best. So yeah, I'll see you guys when I see you. I'll make an announcement. You'll see like the scheduled thing up there whenever I do, at least a day in advance, but I'll try to do longer than that. And do I like Ice Spice? No, I'm sorry. And I don't mean that as I don't like her as a person. It's more so I don't like her music whatsoever. It all sounds the same to me. What did I do? What did I do? Give me dirt. I do not like her music. Is that a hot take? Maybe it is. I don't know. No shade, but that's just how I feel, to be honest. How dare you have an opinion? What are you talking about on the next song? Essentially, I'm talking about doing the work and how nobody can do what I do. I actually posted a video about it in the past, but I'm finishing the song. Every day I do the work, and unlike you, what I do is impossible. Every day you try to search. Someone like me is hard to find. It's impossible. So essentially, it's going to be a song about doing the work, like for mental health. You know how they say you got to do the work every day. That I feel it so much, and I didn't even know that that's what I was going to be talking about when I first wrote that chorus, because I wrote that a year ago, before I was ever even talking to therapists and stuff. I wrote that song out of spite for something totally unrelated. But yeah, it's gonna be about my mental health journey, my diagnosis, and me still being dope in spite of. And then also inspiring other people, like, hey man, it's okay if you feel bad. You just gotta do the work. You get better. It takes work. It doesn't just snap your fingers and you're better. It takes work. Sometimes mentally painful work. But it's possible, because look at me. Not perfect, but I'm doing better than I was. Big fan. It's my best friend Steven's birthday. I put him on to you and he's watching right now. Can you please say happy birthday to him? Happy birthday, Stevens, even Stevens. For sure. I appreciate you putting people onto my channel. That's actually a big help. But also I appreciate you and Stevens for watching my channel. That does mean a lot. So happy birthday. Here's to many more. Cheers from Fiji. Every day I do the work. And that's going to be the first song I release that I made in Serato Studio. So that's going to be cool. Now that they're sponsoring me. But yeah. All right, I'm gonna head out because I'm getting hungry. They've done it before. They've sponsored me a few times before, and it was great when they did. Most of the time. Thank you guys. It is great software. I think it was more so the middlemen who made it unpleasant. I shall see you in the next one. Have a good day. Have a good weekend. And yeah, stay safe. Be blessed. Love you guys.
rises.